Good evening, Sharks fans, and welcome to our Facebook, YouTube, Twitter Live from the AJ Bell Stadium. The Six Nations may be dominating the headlines, but your Sale Sharks, they're ready to make their own. It's a semi-final action as we welcome Saracens in the Premiership Rugby Cup. A place in the live final is up for grabs. This is Sharks Live. Just checking my notes there, it's actually Sale Sharks Live, not Sharks Live. So you thought I'd get that right now. It's about the fifth or sixth one of these he's done. Welcome to the AJ Bell Stadium. We absolutely love the Friday night lives here. And what better way to enjoy rugby during a boring Six Nations than the Premiership Rugby Cup? Live at the AJ Bell Stadium, Ollie Lathrop on commentary with Chris. And I'm also joined? Who's she? I'm also joined by Joe McGrath. Joe, how you doing, mate?
I'm doing very well. Today over in that studio over there, you can just see it in the background, we have got the brilliant Place to Be charity joining us, talking all about their charity, match sponsor for today as well. You've all got our lovely badges. We're going to be getting an in-depth chat about what their charity do, and while Sale Sharks have got some involvement in the charity, mint time to have them over there and just really explaining what wonderful work they do. So I'm excited. And any questions as well on the Facebook comments, Twitter, just tweet us as well, hashtag Sale Sharks Live. I'm excited. What are you saying? Yeah. I bit my tongue as well, so that's dead hard for me to say. There's a raise.
Thanks for reminding me about the actual hashtags, which you thought I'd be down with. But yeah, that's great. Thank you, Joe. We'll catch you a little bit later on. Chris, welcome. Nice and warm. Colin. You're looking warm. Looking forward to this one, Chris.
Yeah, big opportunity for Sale, this one, Colin. I mean, clearly Steve Diamond is wanting to make a statement in this competition. They were unbeaten in the Premiership Rugby Cup when it started many months ago now. They come into these semi-finals as #1 seeds. They've got a home draw tonight in the semi-final as a consequence. And if they win, they'll be back here at the AJ Bell in mid-March to play Harlequins in the final. So a really strong Sale team named tonight and a really big opportunity.
Now, it's glow stick night tonight, apparently. Yeah, so
I forgot mine.
I know, I'm sure we'll find some from somewhere. There's a great atmosphere down here. If you're at home and you're within 30 minutes, there's still time to get here for kickoff. So come on down. We're going to hopefully look forward to seeing you. We're going to kind of rush through this normal opening because we've got a really special guest going to come on afterwards. We're going to catch over to a quick VT whilst we do that, and we'll see you shortly.
I was born in Namibia, but I left when I was about 6 months. My parents moved to Cape Town to find work, and then I obviously moved there. Growing up, played football, soccer, as we called it back there, up until 14 years old. Then I went to a high school where rugby was the biggest sport, and all the rugby boys got the girls, so I made sure I made the switch quickly. And played rugby, really enjoyed it. Also, I think a big motivating factor for me was coming from Namibia. The Blue Bulls is a big team, so I supported the Bulls. I'd watch them even though I played soccer. And South Africa winning in the '95 World Cup, I mean, that sport just grew from there. And then so that's where I found my love for the game. Come from South Africa, rugby's everything, and then went to Glasgow where, Glasgow's in a much better place now than what it was when I was there. I mean, they still had Rangers and Celtic, and it was a football city. Then I moved to Exeter, where Exeter's it's the main sport, there's rugby, and Exeter do really well, so it was good. I felt like being back home when I was at Exeter. And then I've come to Sale, and obviously you're fighting with the likes of Manchester United, Manchester City, so it's tough for us to draw a crowd, but I think the squad and where the trajectory where Sale's going, it's definitely on the rise here too, which is exciting. We're setting high standards here. I think we'd be disappointed as a team if we don't make top 4. That's just honesty. We want to be a lot better than we were last year, and last year we wanted to be better than the year before. But especially this year with the squad that we've now got on our hands, we are definitely pushing to hopefully make that top 4, and it starts with this weekend, 1 week at a time, and we've got to perform this week, not only for ourselves as a team, but for the club and for the fans. It's always exciting and nice to play at the AJ Bell. It's our home, and the team we have, the squad we have, we know when it clicks. We haven't quite clicked yet. when it does. I think we're going to put a lot of teams to the sword, which is quite exciting. I think the best is yet to come. So yeah, that's really exciting for us. Every away game we have our loyal fans, which is fantastic. I really enjoy that, and the boys feed off that energy. The people that can't make it down, yeah, we need your support. You know, it is true, the 16th man. You know, it really helps us. You know, when we're close to the try line or when we're defending our try line, and it's just those small moments in games which define the fact where we win or lose, and that's top 4 and making semi-finals and finals or missing out. So I mean, to have them there, it's great. Yeah, come watch us score some tries.
Great interview there with the mighty McGregor man himself down at Carrington. There's an extended version of that interview. You can get that on the YouTube channels. That will be coming out sometime in the week, so make sure you stay tuned to catch that. Some great insights there, as always, when we go down to do those interviews down at Carrington. Also, if you're interested in asking any player any questions, make sure your comments below, get tweeting, tell us as much as you can. We'll take those questions to the players every week. So make sure you connect to us. Hashtag comments below, comments over there, comments over there. That's where we want them. Got to be quick here because this man's a very busy man. We're joined by Faf de Klerk. Faf, thanks for joining us. Nice and warm here, obviously. We're loving it. We're going to talk more about Place to Be, and you got a chance to see them during the week, didn't you? You did a lot. How did you enjoy that? Was it a good thing to do?
No, it was great. Great to see the kids, and it's always nice for us as players to, if we feel we can make a bit of an impact on a child's life and maybe get better for it. And yeah, I really enjoyed the time with the kids, and hopefully we made a bit of an impact.
We were talking a lot as well about what this club means to do things like that. You know, it's a charity for us for the whole season. It's today's their game and everything. It's more than just rugby, this place. There seems to be a family feel. There's something happening here at Sale Sharks, and you know, it's I've seen it develop and I've seen it grow. What do you think is the pulse of that? Why is this club changing to be such a great thing that it is becoming?
I think it starts with Steve Diamond and the owners. We're all very close to them, and they've just been great for us, and we're trying to create that family vibe at Sale, and I think we're really doing that, and the guys get along, and yeah, it's just we're trying to create a family environment, and I think we're definitely doing that.
So you've come all this way, you've come from far lands and stuff. Are you becoming a bit of a Manc now? Have you got the Mancunian swagger going yet? I mean, you've always had a bit of a swagger, to be fair, but what is it about Manchester being in the north that's making you stay up here?
I'm enjoying my time playing rugby here. We've got a great group of lads, and I think Manchester's a great town to go to, and there's so many things going on in Manchester, and it's just fun to be a part of it, and yeah, I think it's really up and coming, and I'm really enjoying my time.
Brilliant.
Unfortunately, we've not seen you in Sale colours since the start of 2020. Just give everyone an update on your injury.
Yeah, so just getting back with recovery now. Had a tough session this week, and hopefully in 2 to 3 weeks' time we can be back and ready and on the field. So yeah, almost there.
How difficult has it been for you to adjust back to life at Sale? Because getting an injury so soon after coming back into the club must have been really awkward for you.
Yeah, I've never really had any injuries, so I'm taking it as a bit of a blessing in disguise. I've never been injured for the last 6 years, so I think it's just good for my body to recover a bit, and then hopefully just get all the right strength to work from the whole body. So yeah, and hopefully I can go straight through again for another 6 years.
And how do you feel the squad is developing, Faf, having come back into it, seen them gel a little bit while you've obviously been busy on World Cup duty? Are they kind of roughly as a squad where you think you were expecting to be at this point, or do you still see big areas where the team can get a lot better?
I think we're doing really well as a squad. The boys are working hard for each other. We're putting together great performances, and that just shows what the team means to the guys. I think we're a bit further ahead than I thought where we would be. Obviously playing the semi tonight, and I think we're third on the Premiership log now, so I think we're definitely on the up. Hopefully we can continue with that, and yeah, I'm excited for tonight's game.
And if, say, we're able to go on and win this Premiership Rugby Cup, what would it do you think, for the dynamic of the dressing room? Would it give that feeling of a true winning culture, do you think?
Yeah, that's something we've been struggling with at Sale this last 2 seasons, is to create that winning culture. If we lose by a few points, and we don't put teams away if we need to. And yeah, that definitely becomes a habit. And I think if we can win the cup, it's just going to give us so much confidence going forward.
Thanks, Faf.
We talked a little bit before about the family side of things as well. How important is it to get this place full and rocking? You know, not just obviously for the beer sales, for you as a player. Why is this so important to have all these people behind you?
Well, I think we're slowly creating a crowd, and I think obviously all that's going to get that is good performances, and it shows that people are coming because we're winning. And I think the boys have got a good with the community, have a great relationship with the community, and the boys are doing a lot of work going out to the community and getting out there so that people can see us. Obviously Manchester is a very football orientated, so we slowly trying to hopefully get the people coming here rather than going to the football.
Must be like feeling you've got hundreds of brothers, thousands of brothers and sisters here to support you, and I think, and obviously I'm linking it back to Place to Be as well, is that having support networks around you are great, and I don't think there's any bigger support network than thousands of fans screaming at you to get over that try line. That must be a massive boost mentally as well as physically.
You always play a bit better when the stadium is sold out. You just you don't want to let the people down. You get a great buzz from them, and there's always a great vibe here at the AJ Bell. We really enjoy playing here, and we normally play quite well here. So I think it's definitely down to the fans as well, and to see the kids coming through. And I think we're getting there to a place where people really enjoy our style of play, and we're getting some good wins behind it.
So just before we let you go, so if there's a key thing you can tell those fans at home that didn't quite make it today, or those fans that maybe just a little bit further afield and have kind of left us by over the years, what key messages can you tell this lot at home to get off the bombs and get down here in the next 2 weeks?
Well, I think if they enjoy rugby and enjoy just a good culture, they should come down. It's always fun. The people do a lot of work to make it fun for the fans as well. The players always get involved with the crowd, and I think we're really creating a family environment. So if they want to come down and have a good time, enjoy a couple of beers or just bring the kids, it's always a fun outing.
Love it down here. Love seeing you. Thank you so much, mate. Really appreciate it. Great to see you. Thank you very much, and we'll catch up with you soon. Thank you very much. In that lovely summer weather we had as well down at Carrington during pre-season, we were lucky enough to speak to a few people. We managed to speak to Ashi and Jono, actually. We did a little bit of Twitter higher or lower just to find out who knew more about social media. Let's find out who won the game. Welcome to Sale Sharks Live. We're at the Summer Barbecue. Six Nations special though. We're going to play a quick game of Twitter higher or lower with the big man. Ready for this? Okay, so it's a bit like play your cards right, but we can't say that because of legal reasons. But we're not doing it in Six Nations teams. We're doing it in alcoholic drinks of which country. So we're going to start with Brains Bitter at 14,600 followers on Twitter. Guinness next, higher or lower?
Higher. By a mile.
67,000, that doesn't seem a lot, but it's higher. Well done, that's right. We're going to go from Ireland to Scotland.
Okay.
Lafrague whiskey, higher or lower than Guinness?
That's Ireland, is it?
Yeah. No, that's Scotland.
That's Scotland. Lower.
Correct. 53,000. So Guinness 67, Lafrague's 53. From Scotland, we're going to go to England. Carling for some reason.
Higher.
No.
Callan, no. Everyone knows what Callan. They obviously haven't got a very good social media account.
Or there's more people drinking whiskey in Scotland.
That's about right, yeah.
We're going to go from Carling to Italy. Peroni.
Higher.
No, it's lower. 3,000 followers on Twitter.
No way, Peroni. Everyone drinks Peroni.
That's what I thought, obviously.
Really? Yeah. Just whiskey. 3,000's pathetic.
Obviously,
We need a new social media manager.
We're going to play a game of Twitter higher or lower, okay? And we're going to start with you on 4,700 followers. Yeah. Okay, that's quite high. And we're going to go to Ben Curry next, higher or lower?
Lower.
Absolutely, no hesitation, yeah. From Ben Curry, we're going to go to Josh Bowman, higher or lower?
Higher.
Josh Bowman is absolutely higher. 4,500 Josh Bowman. We're going to go from Josh Bowman to Marlon Yard.
Higher.
No hesitation. 21,600 followers. The guy knows,
Man.
he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
And then we're going to go from Marlon, the big hitter, to an even bigger hitter, Sam James.
Lower. The lowest.
Absolutely correct. He's got a massive 2,052 followers. Those 52 are big for him. So if you'd like to donate to the Sam James Twitter followers appeal, hashtag courtesy of Jono Ross. Poor old Sam James there. Jono winning that Twitter high or low, which is fantastic. Again, any questions you have for us, to the players, comments below, left, right, up, down, wherever the comments are on whatever platform you're watching on. We want to be there with you. You want you there with us here as well today. Commentary coming up later on from Ollie and Chris. Any questions you might have during the commentary, send them in. We might be able to get those in as well. So luckily enough, if I just take a little step over here, I'm joined by another great awesome sail shark, Luke Diego, hot, fresh over to be with us today. Thanks, mate. We put you to work very quickly, didn't we? You've only been here for a few weeks and you were doing the community stuff pretty much straight away. How was that? How did that feel?
No, it was good. We had good fun with a couple of the kids from the community. Really good to get to know some of them, and yeah, out of the blocks quickly, so hopefully we can keep it up.
We've got some great video of you running away from hundreds of kids and everything as well. So we got that on video now. But it was indoors as well, which was pretty good, wasn't it? So, but now we're outside in the cold. Also, you'll be pretty keen to get back on that pitch as well. I'll probably leave that question for you a little bit later. But I mean, you've only had a little taste of it so far. What's your impressions as the new boy? How are you enjoying it so far?
Really settling in nicely. Really looking forward to getting out on the pitch, and yeah, so the guys give me a bit of slack already, so it's good. But yeah, looking forward to getting out on the pitch and getting stuck in. So a couple of more weeks, I think. Looking forward to it. Yeah.
Brilliant. And we talk a lot. I mean, you'll be able to take these experiences of playing in front of massive crowds and stuff like this. How important it is to have all these fans around a professional rugby player like yourself? We talk about it quite a lot. What kind of boost does that give you as a player, and why should these people be coming down to support you as a team and as Sail Sharks as a team?
Yeah, I think it doesn't matter how big the stadium is. When it's full, and you always feel there's an atmosphere. Any stadium, doesn't matter how big it is, when it's full, there's a great atmosphere. So we really encourage the people to come out and support us here. It'll just help us to play. You always know you always know how many people there are and how big the crowd is. So for us, getting the people behind us will definitely help us spur us on.
So, Luke, you've been here 2.5 weeks. I know the fans are itching to know when you're first going to put that Sail Sharks shirt on and get in the second row. Have you got a target game?
At the moment, it's not quite sure exactly what game, but probably I'll say 4 weeks to go, 4 or 5 weeks. So it's going to be either, I think, maybe the London Irish game would be safe to say. Maybe they'll hope before that, but I think maybe the London Irish game would be a good target.
And what sort of challenges are you expecting in the Gallagher Premiership when you do play Lude compared to playing domestic rugby in South Africa? What do you think might be similar and what might be different?
I think that the difference is in the Premiership is not easy games. Not that I say there's easy games in South Africa, but you're not sure of any result. If you don't pitch on the day, any team can beat any team. So for me, it'll be being at my best each week and testing myself against new players I've never played against. You want to test yourself against the best all across the world, and this is a good opportunity for me to do that.
How much opportunity have you had previously to look at sales matches on TV prior to signing for the club? Had you seen much of the club before you arrived here?
Yeah, after I signed quite a while ago, so I watched most of the games after that and really been impressed with the way the guys played. You can see there's an ambition in the club with all the guys coming in and the signings they made. And Dimes, he doesn't keep it a secret. He wants to be dominant in England and dominant in Europe. So yeah, I just want to be part of that and build on that, and yeah, hopefully be one of the cornerstones in that.
A lot of South Africans to welcome you into the dressing room, of course. Does that add more banter for you, or does that make life easier arriving?
No, always more banter, but also easier. It's nice to I know a couple of guys from way back, so they've helped a lot with settling in and all the small stuff you need when you first arrive. But obviously the banting comes with it, and it's been good fun so far.
Well, you talk about 4 or 5 weeks from being ready. Could be potentially then March the 15th here in the Premiership Rugby Cup. Who knows, you might make your debut in a cup final. What might that be like?
Yeah, that'll be nice. We'll feel a bit weird only playing one game and that being the final, but it is what it is. So yeah, that'll be good.
And in terms of winning a trophy, what do you think that might do for the aspirations of the dressing room if, say, we're able to win this game tonight against Saracens and go on and beat Harlequins in the final?
No, it'll be good. Any trophy is good if we can do that. I think Dime said it's 9 years ago, or no, 14 or 15?
2006 was the Premiership.
So 14 years ago, the last time Sales won a trophy. So it'll be great, I think, for the morale of the whole team. And to build on that and to achieve even bigger heights and win bigger trophies, it'll be a great stepping stone.
Thanks, Lude.
Thank you.
Final question for me as well. Just to tie it into the sponsorship of the match sponsors day place to be. You know, coming back from injury can be really difficult. Physically, you've got the job to do. You know, we know how broken bones work or ligaments work, but then there's this mental change. You've gone from active, full on, to stop. And I mean, that must be very difficult. How do you deal with that? Do you have people around you? We were talking about the South African Brotherhood around and stuff like that. Do you have that support, or is it something that you try and keep yourself with? Are you able to share your mental well-being with other people?
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. I've had off for 8 weeks, so I was on holiday in South Africa, so that's been great. Getting back into it, getting back into the rehab. But yeah, it's been good. It's good to have the guys around, not be on your own. Because it can get lonely sometimes rehab because you're doing everything on your own and it's just you. But having the guys around in the gym and there's a bit of banter around and everything, so it's good. It's been good.
Listen, mate, thank you so much. I'm sure we can talk to you again soon, especially when you score that try in the cup at the end as well, which we hope to see you. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Okay, and we're talking about place to be as well. We were asked to go down and take a look at place to be in action. We went down to Cadishead Primary, spoke to a few of the pupils down there, a couple of the staff, about the programme Place to Be, about mental health, and about one thing that I found very surprising actually was that the kids these days have an incredible mental and emotional vocabulary, which I didn't have when I was a kid. We're very fortunate to have Place to Be as our sponsor. We're going to go and see them in the studio with Joe in a minute, but let's take a little look at our visit to Cadishead first.
Place to Be is the UK's leading children's mental health services provider in the schools-based sector. We provide one-to-one interventions throughout schools. We provide short-term drop-ins for the children to come and see us, and we're very much about providing emotional wellbeing support to schools, staff and parents. We have a whole school approach.
It's a place where you go to talk about your feelings if you're feeling stressed, scared or angry.
Other head teachers told me that they'd got it in school and told me what a great effect it was having on their children. So I looked into it a bit and found out some more about it. Over the last maybe 10 years, I found we've had more children who've had things that they want to talk about that staff found increasingly difficult to deal with, you know, and didn't really have answers. So more and more children were coming to me. And I was struggling with the numbers of children I was talking to about issues they were facing. So it was do something about it, you know, find something that will help school, help the children.
All you have to do is write down your issue and how you're feeling about it and put it in the box and your date that you've put it in, and they help you.
The lady will come and collect you and you'll speak about your worries. For instance, if you get in a fight and you're worried about your mum and dad about hearing it, you can just put your slip into Place to Be and talk about your worries.
Annette's easy to talk to, and say you brought a friend with you, I've put a poster on the wall saying bring friends that you trust and not to tell anyone. When my friend went to go see Annette, because we had an argument, I went to see Annette before that, and then my friend went. She came down at dinner and she spoke to me and asked, do you want to be friends, and gave me a big hug. She lets you talk, and then she gives you a bit of time, and then she gives you tissues if you're that upset, and then she'll tell you what to do. So she's kind of like dead kind about it.
We know that across the UK there's 850,000 children who are struggling with mental health issues. So to have these partnerships with people, companies, organisations like Sale Sharks, it's just a really exciting opportunity. It's really useful if we can get them to manage their emotions, start building resilience, bringing that emotional vocabulary into their normal language. So for people to donate to Place to Be and provide these children with support is vital and really important.
Welcome to Sale Sharks Live TV. Make sure you're using the hashtag as well when you're tweeting us, putting your comments on Facebook and joining us on YouTube as well. My name is John McGrath. In the studio with me today is a very special guest. Normally we have wonderful guests joining us, but today is my favourite so far, I'm going to say. We're joined by the beautiful charity Place to Be at the end of Children's Mental Health Week. We're here today to talk about the charity. I've got the wonderful Catherine, Joe and Sharon all to talk about this wonderful charity. Sharon, you're going to start us off. Michelle, where's Sharon come from? I'm sorry, Michelle. Why someone tell me, Sharon? Michelle, why don't you start us off with the Sale Sharks' involvement with Place to Be?
So, hopefully the eagle-eyed of you have been fully aware that the Place to Be logo has been proudly sported on the back of the shirt since the start of this season. Simon and I first became involved with Place to Be in 2016, which is roughly the same time we got involved with Sale Sharks. So the timing is beautifully synchronised. Basically, it's a charity, as I say, we've had the privilege of being involved in all sorts of activities over the last 3 years. And it was last summer when we were finalising the shirt designs and the shirt sponsors, and I knew we had some spare space on the back of that shirt. I thought it would be ideal to put a charity on there and give some awareness and some profile to a well-deserving charity, of which, of course, all charities are well-deserving, but Place to Be having a very special place in my heart, that was the way where it was going to go. So that's basically how I got there, and we're pleased to announce that Place to Be are our first ever official charity shirt club sponsors.
It's amazing. So Michelle, you said it's close to your heart. Did you work with the charity before, or is it just someone you stumbled across?
Just something I've come across. Simon and I actually also support BAFTA, who just had their film awards last weekend. And through some of the charity work they do, they actually do an amazing roadshow with the Place to Be schools, taking children's BAFTA staff and children's BBC and CITV presenters into the schools, the Place to Be schools, to do workshops. That's where I first came across them. That's a programme we're now about to be funding our 4th year of. Wow. And I just wanted to spread more awareness of Place to Be because I think it is the most amazing and also vitally important charity.
Yeah, amazing. We're going to pass it to Catherine. Catherine, we're going to ask you about obviously Michelle is so highlighted how wonderful Place to Be is. So why don't we talk about what Place to Be actually is and how you started the charity and how you got to where you are now?
Sure. So Place to Be provides school-based mental health support for children, and by that I mean we're promoting positive mental health, which is something that everybody should have. And then we're also identifying and addressing mental health problems early on. And then getting the right kind of support in for children early on. And that really helps them then in terms of their learning, their engagement in the classroom, and then the ability to grow up confident, resilient, able to deal with the knocks and things that we'll all encounter in life.
And you started this, 25 years ago, you saying?
So we started 25 years ago. So Benny, who is our now president, founded the charity, and then I got involved a couple of years later. I trained as a teacher originally myself. Then I got involved in management consultancy, and then met Place to Be and Benny through some volunteer work, and then just kind of got hooked.
Yeah, moments like this when Michelle spoke to you about being part of Sale Sharks and that vital space on the back of the shirt, and so much more like we're doing today, and the raising awareness of it. It's little things like this that have really helped your charity, as well as we'll get on to primary schools actually getting involved into the charity.
Well, I think this is a really big thing for Place to Be. So it's a real honour, and thank you, Michelle, to be on the back of the shirts, because I think it really takes mental health into the mainstream. You know, it's on the agenda. We need to build more awareness, and we also need to know that it's okay for children to speak, to ask for help. So to have the players go into the schools and talk to the children and give them that kind of confidence, and for them to know that it's okay to ask for help, that's just phenomenal. Yeah, it's brilliant.
It's brilliant. We're going to chat about Caddy's Head Primary School. Now, obviously, you came to know about the charity. Was it? Did you hear about it, learn about it, were you approached by it, and then obviously bringing the charity into your school and making it a part of the kids' lives, and on a big week like today, it's such an important thing.
We were aware of Place to Be because we know that other schools in Salford had Place to Be in their schools, and we were aware of the fantastic work that they were doing, and we were finding that there were more and more of our children who were struggling with aspects of mental health, and we felt that they needed some support more than we could provide them with. So we approached Place to Be, and we've had them in our school now for just coming up to 18 months, and it really has been fantastic. It's benefited the children, the families, the staff. It's a very holistic approach. It's not just the children who are benefiting from it, and to have Sale Sharks, who are so close to our school, sponsoring is just absolutely amazing.
Right, I've got so much I want to talk to you about. I want to talk about, Michelle, about rugby and the combination of that, but I'm going to quickly nip to a little VT from a wonderful message from our partners, and we'll be right back after this. Hello, welcome back to Sale Sharks Live. Wherever you're watching around the world, make sure you leave a comment on our Facebook and Twitter page and get involved into the conversation we're having today. We're talking in the studio now, before the build to this epic game, by the way, about the wonderful charity Place to Be. As you can see, we've all got our lovely badges on. And Place to Be, Michelle, it's worked hand in hand with Sale Sharks. So the question might be, how important is it for like a sport like rugby to be involved in a mental health charity? And it's clearly a good thing going forward that, you know, connections like this are being made.
Massively so. I think the parallels you can draw between the pressure of being a professional sportsman and the pressures not just to children growing up, but all of us in modern society, it's getting harder and harder. It being Children's Mental Health Week, the message this year that Places to Be have very cleverly come up with is find your brave. And for me to be able to tie into that especially is vital, because every week, week in, week out, we're asking these boys here to go out and find their brave. I, for one, wouldn't really fancy being tackled by a Fijian crash centre. I'm not sure anyone would. So every week we're asking that of our rugby players, and it's fantastic then to draw the parallel for players to actually be able to go and speak to young children and inspire them and identify with them, that they suffer similar sort of pressures that children do. It's exactly the same sort of thing. As Faf, Denny and Josh spoke about on Wednesday when we did the launch event of our new Place to Be Sale Sharks Community Trust programme, which is going to be called Find Your Brave, carrying the message through for the rest of the season. The players were there talking about, you know, how difficult it can be joining a new club. You come, like Faf did, all the way from South Africa, not knowing anyone, steps into a new club, and on day one, not only has to make friends, settle himself in a new environment, but then also has to prove himself. Just like any Year 6 child next year going into secondary school is going to face the same pressure. So for these children to be able to sit there and basically listen to these aspirational people and identify and go, well, they're just like me. It's just been fantastic to be able to basically unite the two together.
I think, Michelle, the way you speak about it and passionately that you speak about it just shows that it's going to be a wonderful partnership for years to come, and it's going to be just immensely helping the children at Cadishead Primary School. How's it impacted then? So obviously we can talk about how wonderful it is, but how have the children found it? What's their relationship been like with it, and is it positive?
We've had a really positive relationship, and the children have all really taken it on board. We have a school project manager who works with us, and she's made herself very visible, very approachable for the children. Place to Be works in different ways in the school. We have some children who have one-to-one counselling. We have some children who can just pop a little slip. You saw on the video, they can pop a slip in a post box if there's something they want to chat about. So it can be something that's worrying them at home. It can be that they've had a fallout with their friends, and it's just they've got somebody there who they can go and have some designated time with, who will listen to them.
That's amazing. So obviously the smiles back on the children's faces, and working with the counsellor, did they find it nervous at first to put what's going on in the box? Because obviously that's what it's an anonymous sort of what might be upsetting you at the moment. Were they a bit worried at first, or were they just put it in, let the worries away?
I don't think they were. I think they were all just. We have a lot of children who were just really in there popping those slips in, and they just were really happy to go and talk to somebody. But I think that's because Place to Be have become very visible in school, so they've made themselves visible, so it's there, and they know everybody can go, so they're not doing anything that is just different to anybody else.
Catherine, what is the first conversations like with schools that might not know about Place to Be? Do you just tell them what you can provide? Do you tell them how other schools have really found it so beneficial?
All of those things. So we talk about a whole school approach to mental health, and it's exactly as Joe said. There's promoting positive mental health for the children. There's support, one-to-one counselling for children who have an additional level of need. There's group work for children who might struggle, for example, with the transition from primary school into secondary school. And there's also then the work with parents, work with the school staff, and then access into more specialist services. And something that's really important for Place to Be is being able to provide the evidence also, that this is founded, and our work has been founded on research and looking at what really works in terms of providing support and the impact that it has in terms of mental health, as well as in terms of a child's engagement and academic progress in school.
Amazing. We're going to have a bit more chat about children's mental health week. It came to an end today, but so much amazing stuff went on. We're going to just have a little quick word from our sponsors, and right back after this. Welcome back to Sale Sharks Live. How you doing? Watching across the world, as I imagine you're writing your comments in, gearing up for the amazing semi-final we're about to witness here. I'm going to wrap up with this wonderful group of people in the studio today, all from Place to Be. Michelle, finally, just a little conversation with you about the future for Sale Sharks and Place to Be, and where you see it blossoming.
Well, I know from mine and Simon's personal point of view, we'll be supporting Place to Be forever onwards. Obviously, this year we've put them as the club's charity partner. I'd like to be able to keep them on for there forever, but I have a lot of other charities knocking on my door, and I think it's only fair to raise their awareness and everything. But our partnership at Sale Sharks will not end with Place to Be. We will keep them there, and we will always be doing events to promote them, do awareness. We've just, as I said, started the schools programme, the Find Your Brave programme, which is working with Year 6s in primary schools. The Sharks Community Trust are just starting that. That's going to be running at least for the next 6 months to 9 months. And if it works well, we will continue funding that and make sure that keeps going. And we'll continue growing our partnership here with Place to Be. It's such a worthwhile cause.
Amazing. Final question then, Catherine. Just about if anyone's seen the Place to Be, they're interested in getting to know a bit more about it. Website, find you on Facebook, Twitter.
Absolutely. Website, placetobe.org.uk, and on Twitter.
Yeah, amazing. Right, I want to thank you so much for joining us. It's an amazing thing that you're doing. Right, everyone say goodbye. Everyone, bye. Right, we're going to go now to our man Colin, who is out in the stands, I think, causing mayhem, no doubt. Thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you.
Nearly. Thanks, Joe. Thanks very much. Great insight into the studio there. Thank you very much. I'm with some Sharks fans. How are we doing? You guys all right? How's it going? You good? Where are you from?
We're from Wirral, the Wirral.
From the Wirral. You with him? You come with him, have you? You looking forward to the game today?
Yeah.
Who do you want to win?
Sale.
Sale, the good answer. Well, who do you want to win? Saracens. Can't believe it. You looking forward to the game, sir?
Yeah, it should be very good.
Now listen, we win this home semi-final, home final. That must be pretty good for this club.
We can get some tickets for it.
I mean, it's been great. We've been looking forward to being in games like this for a long time. You know, how often do you get down to the games?
Only a couple of times a season.
All right, so cool. Let's get you down more often then.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, who's going to win? I've already asked you that. Sale. You already told me. Good on you. He'll be back soon. He's there. We've chatted to him today, so he's back soon. Absolutely. Who else have we got? Hello, how are we doing? Where are you guys from? Where are you from? Northwich, in Cheshire. Yeah. Cool. And why have you come down today?
I've come to watch Saracens get absolutely beaten by Sale.
Let me say no more. The man knows his things. What do you think the score's going to be?
I'm not sure.
Massive.
I hope so, yeah.
Yeah, good man. Thank you very much. Good to see you. Good man. Thank you. Cool. We're going to take a little walk over to the Shark Key as always. Let's see if we can find anybody there. As always, we want to keep the conversation going. So come and get us on the social media. Comments below. Sale Sharks Live as always. If you've got any questions for who do you think is going to be the man of the match today? How you doing? You all right? Who do you think is going to be man of the match today? If you get those questions in to the comments, we will try. And if you get it right, we will speak to that man of the match. We're going to go squeeze through here. How are we doing, everybody? So, here we are, Sharky, doing my Annika Rice impressions. Tell us who your favourite players are on the social media strategies as well. Just going to help Ian down this step so he doesn't break his neck. There we go, job done. Hello, how are we doing? You okay? Going to hijack it. Hey, listen, it's glow stick night tonight, obviously. We've got all our glow sticks in full effect. Oh, loving it. Right, I'm sure when Flag Day turns around, we'll get loads. Listen, where are you from?
Blackburn.
Blackburn, I'm near there. You've just not followed her in from off the street? You're from Blackburn as well?
Well, she told me she was coming down here and I thought I'll follow her.
Just follow her in. How often do you get down to the games?
As often as we can, really. To the home games as often as we can. Work dependent, as with everybody. If you're not working the weekend, you get a ticket, you come on down. So, yeah.
Brilliant. And, what is it about this place? Why do we love coming down to these games so much?
Because I love the atmosphere down here. I like getting down early and have a couple of pints before because there's always people to talk to, have a chat with. You get to see the players in there before the game. That's amazing. It's a great ground. It's a really good price. And this season we're actually really competitive and that's just massive.
Home semi-final, you know what I mean? It's like, what?
I was on Twitter this afternoon with some Saracens fans who were saying, why have they put such a strong side out? It's a semi-final, it's a chance to win a trophy.
Yeah. This is not our strong side, this is like our third string, whatever, do you know what I mean?
It's like, what? It's your biggest game. I said, we're third in the table, 4 behind Exeter. I don't think we're treating it as our biggest game.
So this is the thing, and this is the difference of this season. And as we've got, I mean, this hasn't happened overnight. This has grown. Sale Sharks is always a big club. It was always, what we're doing. This is just normal to us. This is just, it's not a
back to Wedgley Park days.
Yeah, of course. I remember that. The pitch is better though. Oh, no, I didn't say that. Listen. Catch you later. Thank you very much. We're going to go get in here. Let's see if we can disrupt the festivities in here. We'll get into trouble probably, but let's see what's going on. How are we doing? It's bright, that, isn't it? It's bright. Where are you guys from? Where have you come from? Preston Grasshoppers, maybe? Yeah, just, look. Just because of that there, look. Yeah, I know, you see, recognise that. All Preston? Yeah. All Preston? Yeah. Good. How often do you get to Sale Sharks games?
Once every couple of months we come down, yeah.
Why do you keep coming back?
Why do we keep coming back? It's a great atmosphere. Great atmosphere, great rugby as well.
Not as good as Grasshoppers though, obviously.
Obviously not. No, we're flying this year.
Yeah, and isn't it great to be in winning sides and everything like that? Yeah,
absolutely.
So listen, if for those that couldn't quite make it, they got time. Yeah, they've got a bit. 15 minutes, they can leg it over the bridge. It'll be fun. For those that can't quite make it, why should they come and come and join in and be part of this game?
Simply because we're going to absolutely hammer Sarries tonight. Absolutely hammer them, and it'll be worthwhile watching.
Brilliant. That's all we need to know. Do you know what I mean? That's we are going to hammer them. Sorry. Thank you all very much. Check this out. Come on, have a look at this. Let's show you. Look at that. Yeah. Say chicken and rice on there. Somebody spelled it wrong. What's that say? Which one does that say? Saracens. No, Sale. Sarks. So I say that when I'm drunk. I tell you. Thanks very much, folks. See you later. Let's just squeeze through a little bit more. Let's have a look who else we got in here. Altrincham and Kersal here. Hello, Altrincham and Kersal. How are we doing? Happy days. Happy days. How often do you get to Sale Sharks games? Every single home game, of course. Do you know what I mean? So let me squeeze in here. Listen, why is it so great to come down to Sale Sharks games? What is it about the atmosphere down here that's so good? Or poor? You see?
No, beers with the boys and watching a game of rugby. What's not to like?
Rugby as well.
Do you play yourselves? Oh, ish. Have I asked the wrong? Have I asked the wrong one? Do you play? No, he kind of tries to.
Tell the wife.
Right. Now this is the whole thing, isn't it? You play, you come down. It's great to have this kind of support. We talk to the players a lot actually about how important your job is here tonight, not as coaches but as fans, and they're giving that extra boost on. It must be great though for us to be in a semi-final. No?
Yeah. One more stop to Twickers.
Absolutely, yeah, can't wait. And I'll tell you what as well, third in the Premiership's not, are we still third? Yeah, third in the Premiership's not a bad place to be. Heartache, happy, do you think we're going to stay top 4, top 2? Where do you think we're going to finish up?
I think it's all doable. We were just saying that they've got some momentum now. So once you get there, you keep going, we'll be all right, I reckon.
Keep going, keep the momentum going. That's very much... Is that a diet burger you've got there, yeah? Here's a diet burger, great stuff. Right, we're going to go climbing. Thanks, lads, cheers, appreciate it. Thank you very much. Look at this amazing singing. There we go. This is the kind of entertainment that we have down at Sale Sharks. This is the Sharky as always. Beautiful songs, beautiful lyrics. I'll shut up for a bit, Ian. I'll shut up for a bit. Let's have a watch of this guy for a little bit. Let's see what he's got.
Far away, still so near. Lights go on, music dies.
Okay, so that's us in the Sharky. We're going to throw over to a Premiership Gallagher VT. I'm going to get myself back into the stadium and I'm going to chat to a few fans there. Glow stick night.
Quiz, query, try, spy, take cover. Go for a swim, go on a whim, go outside in, and inside out. Look once, look twice. Follow a compass, not a clock. Never stop discovering. Our game is about protection. For businesses and communities. Helping the people who guide and nurture, who inspire and support, who commit and deliver. Helping to protect all those in our community who are just like us and who deserve the best. This is the Gallagher way.
Magical bit of work. Fabulous score for the Sharks.
Saracens European champions.
As a player, all competitive.
outstanding for scoreboard taking over, but also particularly because obviously Joe part of the game. I get the impression the best runners in world rugby currently called the runners. I also want to see the hook here. Flow gets to the outside. Lovely.
Stop celebrating! Somerton, look at it, it's brand new and shiny. Oh!
Glow stick night. I think something's happened to my glow stick. I don't know quite know what you've got. Amazing. How many glow sticks you've got there? You've got loads. Let's have a look at this. Come and have a look. Look at this. Look at all the glow sticks. Flags as well. Happy days. What we got here? Just a small town. Of course it is. I knew that. Just a small town in Cheshire. Is this yours? It's yours. Come on, let's have a chat. How you doing? I like your banner.
Very well, thank you.
Listen, home semi-final. Got to be happy with this.
Got to be happy. Team's looking good. Lots of confidence. Feeling good about tonight.
We've wanted great teams like this for a while. You know, go back to the 2006 wins, the great teams we have, the great players we have. It's a feeling like that a little bit?
It feels a little bit like could be, maybe. We'll see.
What more do you think there needs to be? Go on, it's fine. You're not hundreds of thousands of people.
No, I just think a little bit of confidence. They can, but we'll see. I'm not sure yet.
Now listen, these things don't just materialise overnight, though, do they? So it takes a while. So now, are we very impatient fans, or are we able to?
No, this is the first season. I thought maybe. So if it doesn't happen this season, next then.
Dead next. Come on, man. Third. Those little hiccups we had at the start of the season as well. You know, what if, buts, maybes, doesn't matter now, does it? Because we're third, so, you know what I mean?
I think Sale fans are very, very patient. They can step back, they can look at a bigger picture, and you can see that these teams going places. There's a lot of potential, so I think we're going to do well.
I remember going down to Oxford to play London Welsh. We are very patient fans. Trust me. We are patient.
This is good for us.
Of course it is. It's absolutely amazing for us. Listen, for those who didn't quite make it down, because obviously they're busy on a Friday night, what key messages can you tell them? Why should they come to the games?
I mean, it's Friday night games. You don't get Friday night games in any other sport around here. Come and have some fun. Come and have a drink in a stand. Come and watch some good rugby.
Get yourself around this banner, man. This is the whole point, isn't it? Did you take this on tour?
Absolutely. Take it everywhere.
Brilliant. I love it. Gents, thank you very much. We're a bit loose here. Let's tighten up a little bit, shall we? Let's get a bit there. Good on you. Thank you very much. I'll catch you guys later. Have we got Joe anywhere? Is Joe coming to see us in a bit, KT? I don't know. Let's go have a look who we got here. Hello, everybody. How we doing? How's it going? Okay, so let's talk to these guys. Sail Sharks Live, no swearing. So what we got there? Liverpool fan and a Sail Sharks fan. That must be very hard for you right now, eh? Two hitting teams, two big hits. Listen, you must be enjoying it. Yeah, is this good? Is it a good field time for Sail Sharks fans, or are we too early in our celebrations? Do you think?
A bit early, I reckon.
That's the 80 minutes. We're going to smash this. Come on. Yeah. It's very exciting as a Sail Sharks fan, you know, because we've been growing and growing and growing, and now we're home semi-final with a chance of winning this. You know, it's very excitable. There must be a lot of pressure on those lads to deliver, though. So what job are you going to do here today, you know?
Well, drink. I'm hoping for something different, but I drink small. The only reason why we're here, obviously to support Sale, is because this is my Christmas present from him.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
You cheap. How many times?
I'll get you a great seat.
It's the best seat in the house, that one, trust me. Especially when they come flying in on that train like that. I was hoping you were going to say, yeah, because it's really important for me to support my team and everything.
Tomorrow night at our local rugby club, Hoyley, we've got Mark Quato doing the guest speaker. So we're hoping to meet him tonight so he can buy us a pint.
Hey, well, listen, he'll be down later, trust me. If they win later, he'll be running around like I'm sure. You know what I mean? Thanks, lads, very much appreciated. Get him a better present next time, you. All right, I'll see you later. Okay, just before we go to that, let's have a chat to this guy that's trying to ignore me so that I don't talk to him. Hey, how we doing? How's it going? Listen, we're very excited. It's a homie semi-final as well, so we're really excited about this. Are you looking forward to this?
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Why are we here? I mean, good team, great team.
Yeah, great team. It's been exciting for the last couple of years, been here, so yeah.
What is it about this club? Because we're talking to a lot of people that didn't quite make it down today as well. What do we need to tell those that didn't quite make it? Why are you always here? You know, what's the big sell for coming down to Sale? Say the beer. Obviously.
Yeah.
We're playing good rugby now, though.
Oh, yeah, it's playing good rugby. It's entertaining. It's now be entertaining. It's good entertaining rugby.
What's it like being amongst all these lot in here when it gets going?
Oh, first class. Definitely first class.
Are you the loudest in here?
No, I'm definitely not the loudest.
Quiet as a mouse, you know what I mean? Listen, mate, thanks very much, appreciate it. Okay, we're going to go over to take a couple of messages from the Gallagher brothers. Let's go and have a listen to what they've got to say.
Sends Bristol into raptures. They may well have scored the most extraordinary try. Tomau! Oh, he will score! What a try! Ball was lost forwards, and now here's the opportunity, and it's going to be a run in here for Sale. Here it is, a little kick pass out to Solomona. That could work. How can he finish? Denny Solomona, what's the bounce like? Slides in. That's a lovely score.
Okay, welcome back. Listen, comments, any questions for the commentary team? Hashtag Saracens Live, comments below. Just before I go up to the commentary team, how are you doing? Great to see you again. What are we looking forward to?
Hopefully a home win and a home win in the final. How about that?
That'd be awesome. What are you drinking? Orange juice. Orange juice. Orange juice. Must feel great to have this home semi-final. It's very important for us as a club right now, do you think?
Absolutely. It's a long time since we won any silverware. So come on, Sale. But if Saracens want to co-invest in my house, come on, Sarri.
I like your style. Thanks very much. Okay, let's just squeeze around here. Guys, can we just squeeze through a second? Just going to squeeze through a little bit. Just squeeze through. Thanks very much. As always, keep those comments coming. Ian, you're coming with me. Hashtag Sharks Live. Any comments, Twitter, Facebook, we want to hear it all. Just going to come over, hand over to Ollie and Chris. Great to see you. Hey, listen, glow stick night
it's
tonight.
My glow
there
stick.
you go. Okay,
Yes.
hand over to you guys. Off you go.
Thanks, Colin. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Premiership Rugby Cup Semi-Final. Sale Sharks, 2 matches from glory, potentially, welcoming Saracens tonight to the AJ Bell and knowing that victory will take them into a final here against Harlequins on March the 15th. Opportunity hence knocks for Steve Diamond's side as they come up against a Saracen side heavily depleted by a combination of Six Nations calls and a decision to blood younger players. No such opportunity missed by Steve Diamond, though. He names the strongest possible Sale Sharks 15, making just 3 changes from the team who were victorious at Exeter last time out. The Sharks hence line up like this. Simon Hammersley at fullback, Denny Solomona and Marlon Yard on the wings. 2 of the 3 changes tonight, Byron McGuigan and Chris Ashton making way from the team victorious at Sandy Park. Sam James and Rohan Janssen van Rensburg form a formidable centre pairing. Rob Dupree is an outside half. Will Cliff continues at number 9. Faf de Klerk still being a few weeks away from returning from that MCL injury. In the pack, Cooney Oosthuizen comes in at loose head for Ross Harrison. Rob Webber hooks, Jake Cooper-Wooley's on the tight head. Then it's Bryn Evans and Jean-Luc Dupree in the second row. John O'Ross, the skipper, on the blind side. Ben Curry plays number 7 and Dan Dupree at number 8. A strong-looking bench too for Sale. Aka van der Merwe, Ross Harrison, Will Griff-John, James Phillips, Mark Wilson, who will make his debut should he get on at number 20. Gus Waugh, Tom Curtis and Luke James. A much younger Saracen side, and we will give you full details of their starting 15 when we get a break in play. But we're just about to get underway here at the AJ Bell. Referee Hamish Smales in his lilac-coloured shirt waves play underway, and Rob Dupree launches the ball from right to left as Ollie Lathrop and I look out from the main stand, and Sale straight away are putting pressure on the Saracens line. Saracens unconvincing from the kickoff, and Sale have an immediate opportunity just a couple of metres short. Ball pop back to Dan Dupree. This is a very positive start from the home side. Will Cliff digging into the ruck to get second phase ball. Pops it short to John O'Ross as ever in that white headband. Cooper Woolley looking for the ball short, but it's Janse van Rensburg who's immediately involved as Sale drive towards the line. Opportunity here for Cliff. Popping it short again. Saracens' scrambled defence just about good enough so far. Wide on the left-hand side as Janse van Rensburg comes in on the crash. Here's Cooper Woolley driven forward. 5 metres short, the tight head prop as Sale pile on the pressure. Here's Hammersley. Hammersley looking to weave his way through. Is held up just short. But here's Denny Solomona. Solomona for the corner. Has he scored? Yes, he has. And the try is given. Denny Solomona gives Sale the lead after just over 1 minute, and Denny Solomona is the man on target. Sale forcing series of rucks just short of the Saracens line, and after Hammersley burst through the middle, it slipped right to Solomona and he squeezes in the corner. Sale Sharks 5, Saracens 0.
Well, what a start, Chris. I didn't even see what happened at the kickoff. Sale recovered the ball and it was a try from there. Such good work. The chase was excellent and Saracens didn't really know what was going on there. They weren't reacting to the kickoff. It was a good kick from Rob Dupree. Sale pounced on it, and it was Solomona who was the beneficiary in the end. But what a start for Sale. Steve Diamond will be so happy with that. That's how you want to start a semi-final match. Get that first score on the board and settle the nerves.
Third try of the season for Denny Solomona. A really good start from Steve Diamond's men. Saracens shell shot really, couldn't really get hold of the kickoff, and as they hesitated and struggled to secure, Sale were in quickly, and the Saracens defensive line brave but ultimately breached after 2 minutes of pressure. Rob Dupree stands over this conversion wide on the right, just 5 metres or so in from touch. Dupree strikes it, crowd seem confident and they're right to be so. Very good conversion from Rob Dupree. Excellent kick off the tee from the South African, and it's Sale Sharks 7, Saracens 0.
Excellent kick from Rob Dupree. Earlier in the season he was having a few kicking problems, but the last few games he's really ironed them out in a good conversion there, and what a start for Sale.
Alex Good with the restart for Saracens. Good playing fly half tonight for the men all in red. Sale tonight in their change strip of all white, so no sign of the familiar dark blue, and a knock-on will give Saracens the pudding. Let's quickly give you the Saracens team. Matt Gallagher is at fullback. Ali Crossdale and Elliot Obertoyinbo are on the wings. Duncan Taylor and Don Morris in the centres. Alex Good at fly half. Tom Whiteley at scrum half is their captain. Front row is Titi Lamositelli, the American. Tom Wollstonecroft hooks, and Josh Ibenokpe is the tight head. Callum Hunter-Hill and Joel Kapoku in the second row. Nicky Sikwe, Sean Raffel and Andy Christie form the back row. Scrum then for Saracens on the Sale 22. Put in is from Whiteley. It's secured ball for the visitors. Duncan Taylor then can't hold as he tries to take the ball on the crash, and Sailor back in position. Hammersley can hammer that downfield. Time though on the ball for Matt Gallagher to collect, and Gallagher launches that left-footed upfield. There is a Saracens player down still inside the Sale 22, getting some attention, but play continues, and Sale managed to clear the ball upfield. Decent clearance kick comes in from Sam James to take Sale back up to halfway, but I think there will be a pause now while attention is brought on to the injured Saracens player, Ollie Lathrope.
Yeah, decent set there from Sale. Sam James cleared the ball well, and then it came back to him again from the next kick, and he cleared well again. But there's some concern down in the 22 for the Saracens man. It looks like it came from a hit from Cooney Oosthuizen maybe, and it's a fairly big one. And the stretcher's out on the field. I can't quite see who it is, Chris.
I think it's Dom Morris, the inside centre, who was brought down. It was a perfectly fair tackle, just it was a big hit, as you say, from Oosthuizen. And this may be an early departure for Dom Morris, who scored last week in Saracens' demolition at the hands of Harlequins. That was his first appearance of the season, but this one's going to be curtailed with just 5 minutes on the clock, it seems. Alex Lazowski represents a more than capable replacement on the bench if needed. But, well, that's good to see. The stretcher being lifted off and Morris back to his feet again. It looked bleak for him, but he's up on his feet. That's really good to see. Running it off and jogging up towards halfway. He takes a slap on the hand as well from Sam James as he ran past. And it's going to be a line out on halfway, and hooker Tom Wollstonecroft throws in for Saracens. It's won by Callum Hunter-Hill, one of their academy players in the lineup tonight. 5 Saracens academy players in the starting 15 for the visitors, with a further 4 on the bench. Hunter-Hill has some Gallagher Premiership experience and secures that first line out of the night for his side, as Whiteley with a box kick kicks downfield. Solomona comes to try and claim, but can't make a clean fist of it under decent pressure. And it's going to be a line out on the Sale 22 with a Saracens throw left-hand side of the park.
Yeah, I think Denny Solomona just misjudged that one, Chris. It was a pretty good kick, and he went to go for it, and it bounced just before him, and it's gone into touch, and I think he'll be disappointed with that a little bit. Solomona really should have taken that, and it's actually a Saracens line-out, so a chance for the visitors to build an attacking platform.
Wollstonecroft throws, but it's overthrown, and there's a chance for Jake Cooper-Woolley to burst away from that line out for the Sale Sharks. Sam James to Hammersley. Hammersley into the line with some gusto, finds Marlon Yard, number 11, trying to crab his way across the halfway line. In front of him, a wall of red to stop his path as Cliff digs that one out from the ruck and finds the pace of Van Rensburg, who hits the line at some speed. Now it's an opportunity for Dupree to try and get some decent field position, but Rob Dupree, taking that ball at pace, elects to kick on the run and rather overcooks that, sending the ball straight out of play, and will come back for a Saracens line out from the point at which Rob Dupree struck that, which was about 5 yards or so inside Saracens territory.
I think we saw the blueprint there, Chris, of how Sale are going to play. Rowan Janssen van Rensburg, such a destructive ball carrier, carried well there, got over the game line, but from the resulting ruck, Rob Dupree looked for territory, but it's not a great kick. It's gone straight on the full, and here are Saracens with the maul just shy of the halfway line.
Hunter-Hill once more getting them good ball from that line out, and the penalty coming. Referee Hamish Smales spotting an infringement there at that ruck, quick on his whistle. And a first opportunity of the night for Saracens to get some good territory from the resultant penalty. And it's hammered by Alex Good down the touchline. The first game in 4 months for the long-serving Saracens man. Played most of his rugby at fullback, of course, but has appeared at fly half on occasion in the past. No sign of Owen Farrell, of course, at the moment for Saracens on Six Nations duty, and Vunipola, his usual deputy, also not involved tonight as Saracens look to try and get a break through the middle. Good work from Sean Raffel driving through the centre channel, but Sale have managed to win it back. Saracens struggling to really find phases at this point in time when they do get the ball, and there's opportunity for Will Cliff to look at his options and for Sale to set up a back line and think about how they're going to get this clear. Back he goes to Rob Dupree, and Dupree hammers that down the right touch line, getting Sale back up to the halfway line and averting the danger. It'll be a Saracens throw bang on halfway. We've had 8 minutes, and it's Sale Sharks 7, Saracens 0.
just a sign there from Saracens of what they're capable of. Tom Whiteley is obviously an excellent scrum half, and he was looking to snipe around the rucks there, and his eventual offload wasn't a great one, and it came back to Sale hands, and a good clearance kick there from Rob Dupree, getting over that previously poor one that we just saw. But it is another Saracens line out, but they've knocked on Whiteley there, who we just talked about, and their offside was a penalty to Sale.
Yeah, Whiteley knocking on from the tap down at the line out would have given Sale an opportunity from a scrummage, but as Ollie says, offside is given by referee Smales, and that will give Sam James the chance to belt this ball down into the corner. Left-footed James able to take advantage when the ball's in that kind of territory, 15 yards or so. Inside touch on the right-hand side. The angle helps James, and he can push Sale up to the 22. Opportunity for Rob Webber to try and look for, you'd think, Bryn Evans or one of the Dupreers with his throw. So Sale on the Saracens 22. 7 points to the good if you're just joining us on Sharks Live, thanks to that second minute Denny Solomona try converted by Rob Dupreer as Webber flicks the ball inside, and it's Solomona again bursting through the middle. Sale 5 metres short once more. They're making real inroads every time they get into the Saracens 22, but Jake Cooper-Woolley there inadvertently getting in the way of the pass from Will Cliff. The ball ricocheting off his body, off his back really, and Saracens will have possession here and can just slow things down a little bit. Little pop pass from Whiteley finds Wollstonecroft, and Saracens can make a couple of yards of gain. Still, though, deep in their own territory, and Whiteley with a bit of a shade of Danny Kerr just rolls that ball back, gives himself a moment, and then on his right foot launches the box kick forward, which Hammersley claims up the right-hand touchline for Sale. Halfway inside the Saracens half. Cliff in quickly, appealing to the referee that Saracens are slowing that ball down at the ruck, but Sale still in possession, are almost through with Jono Ross driving up the middle, getting support from Webber and Oosthuizen, but the penalty comes against Sale, holding on the floor. I think it's Ross who's been penalised there for not releasing when the tackle was made, and this will give Alex Good the chance to clear from the resultant penalty.
I think there'll be some disappointment, Chris, from Steve Diamond after that great start. Since then, Sullivan's sloppy. The kicking hasn't been great. There's been isolated runners, a few errors as well, and I think there's a case here of just trying to get that territory, build it back up again, and try and get something going again, because since that first minute it's been sloppy from Sale. I think sometimes when you're playing against such an inexperienced side, that can happen, but you know, they want to get that turned around here and back to playing some good rugby.
Wollstonecroft with the throw. It's another clean catch. The Saracens line out has been extremely solid so far. Sale are penalised for closing the gap at the line out, and immediately referee Smales is on his whistle, and that gives Matt Gallagher, the Saracens fullback, who's heading for Munster at the end of this season, to launch the ball left-footed up this touchline in front of Ollie Lathrope and I as we sit in the main stand, the AJ Bell stand here, and that takes Saracens into Sale territory on the Sale 10-metre line, and we've had 12 minutes of this Premiership Rugby Cup semi-final as John Kapoku wins that line out for Saracens. They recycle in midfield. Little pop pass from Whiteley finds Wollstonecroft on the peel. Saracens now with Sean Raffel. Look to try and put some phases together of their own. Young side being fielded tonight by the visitors. No doubt will gain confidence as they can get through some phases and put some rugby together tonight, particularly having had that rude awakening pretty much from kickoff against the home side, Sale Sharks. Hammersley, though, does well to field that ball inside the touchline and try and get Sale moving again, but it's Gallagher who retrieves the kick up to halfway. He runs as a really powerful tackle comes in from Ben Curry. Saracens, though, back in possession again. Duncan Taylor trying to loop the ball out to Ali Crossdale on the wing. Crossdale, the former Sale Academy player, chips ahead, tries to chase his own kick, but that's comfortably covered. And an opportunity for Will Cliff to call a mark and then clear over the halfway line and take Sale back into Saracens territory. Will Cliff's in a rich vein of form at the moment, Ollie.
Well, I suppose there would have been some concern, Chris, after Clerk's injury about what Snell would do at scrum half, but Will Cliff has stepped in excellently. He's earned a nomination for the Premiership Player of the Month award, so he's obviously doing something right, and he's an assured presence at scrum half. He's got all that experience, he's played plenty of games for Sale, and I think in these kind of games where, you know, perhaps everything isn't going quite right at the moment, he'll just calm the heads. I know a kick like that does something like that.
Saracens once more very solid on their own line-out throw. Wollstonecroft has been very steady, their hooker thus far, and they've certainly looked solid in that aspect of the game, and they now try and put some pace in their attack from Matt Gallagher, son of former All Black John Gallagher, World Cup winner in '87, the flame-haired All Black fullback, probably the best player in the world at the time in that position. And Saracens move forward over the Sale 10 metre, but once more they cough up possession. There's a chance for the Sharks to put another attack together themselves as Marlon Yard gets a bit of space. Here goes Marlon Yard, he's got a man inside him. Can Yard time the pass? Yes, he can, to Will Cliff. And Will Cliff, nominated for Premiership Player of the Month, shows that the judges are right to pick out his talent, spotting the opportunity to get on Marlon Yard's shoulder. Cliff had a clear run to the line. Sale opening up Saracens with ease and opening up their lead to 12 points to 0.
Well, we said just now, Chris, about Will Cliff and what he can do, and he showed it all there, but it was Marlon Yard who made that. A great burst of speed from him down this left-hand touchline, and Cliff was aware of Yard's pace on his inside, and all he had to do was draw the final man, Alex Good, and it was a walk-in for Will Cliff. And what a start for the Sharks. 12 points in just 15 minutes, and already a struggle for Saracens. It's looking like Sale opening them up for the second time today. And I think that, again, that's the blueprint we're going to want to see. It was nice hands from John O'Ross to put Marlon Yard down this left-hand touchline. And from there, it was easy for Sale inside to Cliff, and 12-0 to the Sharks.
Really positive start from the Sharks. Marlon Yard dotting down for just his second try of the season. He's had limited opportunities thus far. Sale, of course, with so much depth in the wing positions, and Rob Dupree just steadies himself. Not much wind tonight. It's chilly at the AJ Bell, but minimal wind for Dupree to have to think about, and he strikes it straight and true. And Rob Dupree is bang on the money for the second time in 15 minutes. And Sale now opening up an imposing lead. They are scoring almost a point a minute. We've had 15 on the clock here at the AJ Bell, and it's Sale Sharks 14, Saracens 0.
Such a good start from the Sharks, Chris. They played the brand of rugby we've seen all season, really intense, good hands, and the wingers have got speed. We know that whether it's Solomona, Yard, McGuigan, Ashton, they've all got the ability to make something happen, and we saw that there through Yard. And as Sale come again here, some nice offloading, and Saracens are really struggling.
Sale playing with confidence, and you wonder if tonight Sale could really give Saracens a hammering. A young Saracen side, named for this fixture. Sale full of confidence, full of experience, full of quality, and at the moment heading for the Premiership Rugby Cup Final against Harlequins on Sunday, March the 15th. Long way to go, of course, in the game, but the early portent's extremely positive for Sale tonight. Saracens up against it, having already shipped those 2 early scores. Ball is in the Saracens' halfway between their 10-metre line and their 22. Attempted box kick from Tom Whiteley goes a long way up, but not very far forward, and he gets a bit of help from Elliot Oberto-Inbo on the wing and tapping that back. So Saracens retain possession, all in red tonight, the visitors from Alliance Park. Tumultuous few weeks, of course, for Sarries, but this is an opportunity for the young players to show what they can do. Penalty, though, to Sale coming on the 10-metre line.
More good work there from Sale, winning the penalty, and another chance here to get some more points on the board. Looks like Sam James is going to go to the corner. He's going to really attack that touchline, try and get it as close to the try line as possible, and he's about 10 metres out, I would say, and another opportunity here for Sale to add to the points they've already got on the board.
So once more in the 22, and Sale where they want to be, and putting pressure on the Saracens defensive line. Opportunity to put into practice now all that work done at Carrington on the training ground in the week. A solid line-out routine will be sought here by the likes of Dorian West and Pete Anglesey, who work with the Sale forwards right through the week. They know this is an opportunity. 15 metres out from the line. Throw comes to the front, very quickly worked, and it's easy. As easy as that for Ben Curry. Well, that was clearly a training regime put into practice as Ben Curry burst through the front of the line out, catching Saracens unaware and ran in unopposed. Sale Sharks 19, Saracens 0.
Well, I didn't see Ben Curry anywhere there, Chris. He came from absolutely nowhere. It looked like it was a set move from the line out. He comes through at the front, is thrown in by Webber, and he goes storming through. Saracens were just all at sea. No one got anywhere near Ben Curry, and he dives over in the corner. And a third try for Sale. We're not even midway through this first half, and it's looking like a long, long evening for Saracens. They really got to stem the flow, but for Sale, this is just perfect. Settling the nerves, 19-0 up, 19 minutes gone, and it really has been a procession so far.
Well, Saracens, when they're on the ball, look okay. The line-out's decent enough. In possession, they're putting together at least some phases of play, although they've coughed it up a couple of times. But defensively, they are all over the place, Ollie, aren't they? Sale will look at this Saracens defensive line and think there are big holes for us to take advantage of. They've already done it 3 times. Solomona, Cliff, and now Ben Curry. And Rob Dupria has an opportunity as he stands over this conversion to make it 21 points to 0. And Dupria has already turned away and is running back to the halfway line before that ball even gets to the posts. That always tells you that a kicker is confident, and he's right to be so. Sale Sharks 21, Saracens 0. We've yet to play 20 minutes.
Well, this might be a real struggle now for Saracens. They've obviously had some well-documented issues over the last couple of months, and they've sent a young side out here today, and there's really been no let-up from this Sale Sharks side, an experienced side, and at the moment it's been as we expected it to be. It's been all the Sharks in 21-0 already, and it's hard to see Saracens coming back from this.
Bryn Evans solid as ever from that restart. He's been a real unsung hero for Sale in the first half of the season. He's on duty again tonight. The former All Black, as Simon Hammersley over-eggs that pass to Marlon Yard, and the ball goes out of play for a Saracens throw. I guess the danger, Ollie, here potentially for Sale is having built such a buffer so quickly that they become a bit too expansive, try and be a bit too clever perhaps, rather than just going through the phases, sticking to the basics, taking the opportunities, because you think this Saracens team, their heads will go down the more that the margin increases, and perhaps then later in the game Sale can be a little bit more ambitious and a little bit more risky in what they do. But important at this stage, they just keep it simple, because it looks like that's going to be enough to punch holes in this Saracens defence. Here is a little chip and chase from Sam James. Good cover though from Elliot Obertoyinbo, the England under-20s left winger for Saracens, as they try and get themselves moving again. Joel Kapoku, another promising youngster who's already been part of an England training camp. Links play there, and now it's Ali Crossdale getting his second touch of the night, the Sale supporter. As a youngster who was part of the academy here years ago, he'll want to have a good night tonight and ensure that his side at least are competitive, even if they go down against a Sale Sharks side who at the moment appear to be in total control. Knock on gives Sale the scrum halfway inside their own half.
You just said there, Chris, it's not about not being complacent here for Sale. We saw Sam James try a chip inside his own 22 and it didn't quite work out. So I think that's the kind of thing Steve Diamond won't want to be seeing, those forced plays. You know, do you really need to chip it from inside your own 22? I don't think so. Play to the phases, do what you've been doing, and the tries will come, because you know this Saracen side, their heads might go down, but it's important not to give them some light at the end of the tunnel. Otherwise, you know, they're young players. They might take that. You know, they're young, they're energetic, and they're struggling at the moment. You've got to keep them down.
I think at this point, I'm sure Steve Diamond's mind will still be on ensuring his side win this game, but he'll also be conscious of a shutout. Can he keep Saracens out? Can he get a defensive unit and a discipline in his side that doesn't concede a kickable penalty and doesn't let in a soft try? Because that would be another marker in how this Sale team are developing. Here is Sam James with a chip through. Marlon Yard chases it. Matt Gallagher collects. The fullback does well under pressure from Yard, and Saracens get possession just inside their own 10-metre line. Short pass from Whiteley finds Isikwe. He won't often have pulled on a Saracen shirt and seen his side 21 points down in as many minutes in a game before. They'll need his experience tonight to galvanise a lot of their young players. Whiteley, right-footed box kick, lofts it up into Sale territory. Forward for the claim is extremely well taken by Rob Dupree with a great offload. Dupree's offload finds Sam James. James has options left and right. Marlon Yard to his left. Initially the pass came off a Saracen's hand, and James's execution just couldn't quite match the quality of Dupree earlier in that move, with a tremendous reverse little flick really to bring James into play out the back of his hand. But James in the end, almost spoilt for choice with options left and right, was perhaps a little unsure which way to go, went left to Yard. By then Saracens could get a hand in and ultimately could do enough to stop that being a fourth try of the night. But great hands from Rob Dupree. He's had an outstanding opening quarter.
He has, Chris. I'm not quite sure that that offload there was backwards. It might have been a tad forwards, but again, it's the kind of thing we want to see here at Sale. They're playing that expansive rugby, looking for the offload. But as we said earlier, we don't want to force those offloads, which Sam James did perhaps do there. And got a bit of an update, Chris. We've had a few comments coming in on the socials. Ewan Sterling says happy birthday to Max Percival, who turned 16 today and is here watching with his dad. Tony Horrobin is listening from Sherwood Park in Canada. So
hello, Tony.
It's good to see some Sharks fans watching and listening to us overseas.
Excellent. So really good to have Tony with us. And Elisa Carlson is watching from the US as her son-in-law plays for Sale. So we're not sure who her son-in-law is, but great to have Elisa joining us. We'll check out who that might be. But hello to Elisa, hello to Tony, and hello to anyone else who is out and about in Sale supporting colours in a foreign land tonight, enjoying the coverage, I hope, through YouTube or Facebook Live or through Twitter. Always great to hear where you are and that you're able to keep in touch with Sale. I can tell you it's a fairly chilly evening in Manchester, only a few degrees. You're certainly one where you'd need the hat and gloves on tonight, and plenty of the fans here sporting those. Decent crowd. The stand opposite Ollie and I, the Printerland stand, is, I would say, probably about 90% full, which is great to see. The AJ Bell stand also pretty full, and the two terraces, again, probably about 75% full, something like that. So really encouraging to see fans coming out for this Premiership Rugby Cup semi-final. Of course, a full weekend of Six Nations rugby to enjoy, including Scotland, England tomorrow at 4:45. So it really is a great time of the year always, when the Six Nations is on and backed up by some great club rugby. Sale have certainly given the fans who've come in tonight opportunity to cheer and enjoy some great scores so far. I think there'll probably be a few more to come, as well as Saracens bring that out of defence. Skillful work from Duncan Taylor, the former Scotland centre, with a little chip through, looking for Ali Crossdale, who's been busy on the right wing so far. Crossdale doing enough to force Simon Hammersley to just knock that ball out for a line-out, which Saracens will have the throw for halfway inside their own half.
I think we're going to need to see the Saracens players, Chris, that have got that experience. Someone like Duncan Taylor, the likes of Alex Good at 10, really take control of this game, because the young heads might have gone down already, but, you know, when you've got someone like Alex Good at 10 and then Duncan Taylor in the centre, they can settle those nerves a bit, give that insight in the huddle, saying, look, you know, we're not out of this yet. It's a long way back, but they're really going to need that because it's such a young Saracen side.
Nicky Sequay with a good claim from the Saracens line-out, which has been rock solid throughout. But now here goes Marlon Yard running through a defence which has been far from rock solid, and Simon Hammersley tries to continue the attack, and in the end his attempted pass is cut out by number 8 Andy Christie. But once more Sale showing the opportunity to cut through the Saracens defence, and now Andy Good has the chance to get Saracens away. Alex Good, I'm sorry, and Alex Good's kick ahead sees Saracens putting some pressure on the Sale line for the very first time, but a knock-on in the end ends that attack. But some promise there as Alex Good burst through from halfway. His kick ahead was certainly dangerous. In the end, though, a knock-on in Sale territory will give the home side a scrummage, and it remains Sale Sharks 21, Saracens 0, and we've played just over 25 minutes.
Well, Alex Good is such a class operator, Chris. We saw it there. His ability to just glide round defenders, and he made the Sale defensive line look a bit weak there. He glided round them, put the nice kick in, and it looked as if Saracens might be able to recover the ball, but Sale came across well, good cover defence, and it will be a Sale scrum, but deep inside their own 22. But I think what we have seen from Saracens, as you said, Chris, is that attacking nature and they've actually done that quite well. It's really been their defence has let them down so far, because going forward they've had their chances, they just haven't been quite able to finish them.
Yes, they certainly look like a side who are unlikely to break the duck on the scoreboard in the coming 54 minutes or so. So Sale will need to make sure the defence is tight if they want to shut out the young guns of Saracens tonight. And as Ollie was mentioning, there's a bit of experience in that Saracen side as well, with the likes of Duncan Taylor and Nicky Sikwe. Alex Zazowski awaits on the bench, but that first scrum going down. Josh Ibanukpe and Titi Lamasiteli struggling there against Kuna Eustace and Jake Cooper-Woolley, giving Sale a penalty, which Sam James can launch downfield and take play just over the Sale 10-metre line.
It's a bit of a baptism of fire for this Sarries front row. They're obviously quite inexperienced, and you compare that to the Sale front row, where there's some international caps in there. Rob Webber, obviously a very experienced operator. Someone like Jake Cooper-Woolley, who's been around the block in the Premiership. And then you have Kuna Eustace as well, who's got international experience. So these young Saracens props might be in for a long evening.
Rob Webber's throw is claimed out of the night sky by Jean-Luc Duprier, and Sale are then able to get moving once again and get motoring down the right-hand side. Will Cliff bursting through, and Denny Solomona continues the attack. Great burst from Cliff. Solomona then bouncing off his man and trying to keep the ball alive, but Saracens managed to scramble back and get hands on it themselves. Sale, though, once more showing the opportunity of breaking through midfield. Saracens struggling to deal with the attacking threat of Steve Diamond's side. They are, though, in possession on their own 22 as Whiteley gathers and then launches an awful box kick, really, which just goes straight up in the sky, puts his side under pressure, but good work under all that from Sean Reffel ensures they keep possession, but Saracens still inside their 22, and it's Lamasiteli, the USA international prop, who featured in the World Cup, who manages to make a couple more yards for his side as Whiteley launches the ball high again. Underneath it, the rock-solid Simon Hammersley, back fit again, having featured in that excellent win at Exeter a fortnight ago, and Sale looked to try and move things through. Rob Duprier once more in the middle of the park. Cliff waits, pops it short. Opportunity for a drive from Jono Ross. Cliff looking and digging that one out. Now Marlon Yard popping up in midfield, looking to bring in Bryn Evans. Evans popping up on the right wing, not somewhere you often see the former All Blacks second row, but forward pass is adjudged by referee Hamish Smales, and we'll come back for a scrum bang on halfway. It's got just a little bit scrappy, Ollie, in the last 10 minutes or so.
Yeah, I would agree, Chris. We said earlier on about not getting complacent and not trying to force it. And I think we have seen that a little bit from Sale. We saw there Simon Hammersley perhaps given a pass he didn't need to. We've seen a couple of offloads as well, which have perhaps been forced. So I think Sale just need to settle this down, be good at the set piece. We've seen they've got a dominant scrum. The line-out's been much improved as the season's gone on. We need to get back to that, and I think, the tries will come, but there's no need to force it at this stage. It's 21-0, 30 minutes gone, and I think you said earlier as well, this defence will open up more as it gets more tired. If they're doing so much defending, the chances will come. But for now, play the territory, play your set piece as well, and the points will come.
Scrum bang on halfway then. You're listening to Sharks Live with Ollie Lathrop and myself, Chris Malaban. Thanks for joining us this evening through Facebook, Twitter or YouTube. If you've just connected, it's Sale Sharks 21, Saracens 0 as we move past the half an hour mark. Sale looking good at the moment in this Premiership Rugby Cup Semi-Final, with a final against Harlequins here at the AJ Bell, the prize on Sunday the 15th of March. Saracens in possession, 5 metres inside their own half. Captain Tom Whiteley, Millfield schoolboy, looks to try and dig that ball out of the bottom of the ruck, and Sale infringe and then continue to infringe, and referee Hamish Smales moves the penalty forward 10 metres. You don't see that too much nowadays, but it remains a key part of the laws, and Sale punished there, and just losing their discipline a little bit here as we move into the last 10 minutes of the first half at the AJ Bell. Potentially kickable, 10 metres or so inside Sale territory, but Alex Good elects instead to try and be very inventive and takes a little kick to himself and sprints up to the 22-metre line. Back it goes to Josh Ibanukpe. Short pass from Whiteley. Finds Rafael. Whiteley then picks up again, and this time brings in Good, who has been the most threatening player in red for sure in the opening half hour or so. Ever inventive Alex Good. Saracens continue to batter away at the Sale ruck, and now it's Wollstonecroft, the hooker, looking to get Saracens within range. This is the nearest they've been to the Sale line, 15 metres out or so, as Alex Good's attempted pass to Andy Christie goes to floor, but Sale are penalised, and this is going to give Saracens a very kickable penalty if they want it. It's straight in front of the sticks, inside the 22, but showing admirable intent. Alex Good elects to turn down the opportunity of a guaranteed 3 and instead pursue 7. It'll be a line out to Saracens 5 metres from the Sale line. Ollie.
Well, Alex Good caught Sale napping there, Chris. I think everyone's expecting, as I did, the kick into the corner, but Sale weren't watching, and Good pushed Saracens up into the 22, and they've earned another penalty. And you feel now that this really is a must-score position for Saracens. About 6 metres out, 21 points down. If they don't score here, then, well, it's a very, very long way back.
Wollstonecroft's throw, and for the first time tonight, Saracens fluff their lines from the line-out. Sale steal the ball at the back. And just to Ollie's point, at the moment when their line-out needed to be rock solid, Tom Wollstonecroft overthrew, and that has given Sale the chance to recover possession. It's a bit scrappy on the floor, very slow ball here for Will Cliff to wait for, but Cliff eventually claims and left-footed launches a kick high and superbly far, almost up to the halfway line. Cliff once again showing his quality, playing clearly with a lot of confidence at the moment. The former Macclesfield and Sandbach scrum half, who learned his trade in the National League. Still only 31, Will Cliff. Seems to have been around forever, doesn't he? But in his second spell with Sale, and who knows, maybe international honours could yet come. Willie Hines is 33, of course, and still getting Eddie Jones's nod to start in the Six Nations. So it's never, ever too late, as a knock-on in the middle of the park costs Saracens, and it will be a Sale put into this scrum 5 metres into the visitors' territory.
Yeah, but poor play there from Saracens. The defensive line was quick up from Sale, and it forced the knock-on, and another scrum to Sale here, just inside the Saracens' half. Just back to your point on Will Cliff, Chris, you know, it's an opportunity there at England, do you not think, you know?
Well, absolutely. Well, clearly Eddie Jones doesn't think Ben Spencer's the answer. He's continuing to resist giving him an opportunity. Richard Wigglesworth, perhaps in the twilight of his career, had been in and around squads up until last year. You certainly feel that there are not a lot of number 9s knocking on the door to say, pick me, pick me. So who knows, it could yet be an opportunity for Will Cliff. At the moment, Sale are thoroughly enjoying the rich vein of form that Cliff is in, and he's sniping away again from the back of that scrum. Now he digs the ball out and finds the busy Jono Ross. Ross, though, is forced back a bit in the tackle as Cliff feeds Cooper Woolley. Cooper Woolley powers his way through the first tackle, but the Saracens' defensive line is solid here. Sale still struggling to penetrate the Saracens' 10-metre, and then a knock-on as Sale gets slightly frustrated and try and over-elaborate. It's going to be a Saracen scrum just inside their own half. We have 5 minutes till the interval. Sale Sharks 21, Saracens 0.
That would have been unbelievable hands had it gone to hands there. Jono Ross trying the elaborate pass. It was quite clearly forward, and obviously a scrum to Saracens. But again, I think that's another example, because we've seen it a couple of times of Sale perhaps trying to force it when they don't really need to. You know, Jono Ross could have taken the contact there. Sale would have kept the ball, rather they've turned it over. So it's just those little things that you're probably going to get away with on a day like today. But you know, when you play the likes of Exeter and maybe Saracens next week, you will probably have a much stronger side out in the league, you would think. You won't get away with that. So it's just about perfecting those little inaccuracies.
Yes, a trip to Saracens in the Gallagher Premiership, ironically, is Sale's next mission next weekend. So these two sides will know each other well over the next 160 minutes of rugby or so. Certainly tonight, Sale with the upper hand by some distance in this first half. But Saracens, to their credit, have at least stemmed the tide after Sale was scoring at will in the early stages, as Ross drives forward again, gets a bit of support from Ben Curry. Sale just inside Saracens' territory. Pick up from Dan Duprier, who's been quiet by his standards in the opening 36 minutes or so, as Janssen van Rensburg tries to find Sam James. It was a pass around the shins of James. James couldn't hold it, knocked on. Referee Smales playing advantage, but Saracens not getting a huge amount, you wouldn't have thought, from that. And I'm not sure they'll be too chuffed that the referee didn't reach for his whistle, because he seems to have declared the advantage is over. And Sale are back in possession again, just outside their own 22. Will Cliff just waiting to see if one of the Saracens forwards oversteps the offside line, and Joel Kapoku obliges. It will be a Sale penalty and a chance now for Rob Duprier to hammer his side deep into the Saracens' half.
That was rather speculative from Kapoku, wasn't it, Chris? In at the side, the ball was clearly still in, and taking a bit of a risk there, which he probably needs to take when you're 21-0 down just before half-time, but it gives Sale another chance in the Saracens' half, up on the 10-metre line, and with 3 minutes to go until half-time, this might be the last chance for Sale to increase that lead, which I think they'll want to do. As you've said, the last 10 minutes, 15 minutes or so haven't been great. It's been a bit sloppy, and a chance here to rectify that with adding some more points to the scoreboard.
Just under 3 minutes then to the interval. Sale 21 points to the good, but Rob Webber's throw is disrupted at the back of that line out by Callum Hunter-Hill. Saracens have probably had the edge in the line out so far tonight. Both sides have not been rock solid on their throw, but it's Saracens who more often than not have been, and managing to steal a couple as well, as Obutoyinbo gets a chance, first opportunity really for him tonight, to stretch his legs up the left wing. Makes a decent gain and takes his side up to the Sale 22. Good legs from Obutoyinbo, one of the England under-20s in the Saracens lineup. Also a scratch golfer tonight, Ollie. Don't you think it's frustrating? There are guys who can just do it all. Not content with being a top-class rugby player, he plays golf from scratch. So if one sport doesn't work out, hey, just switch to the other.
Well, I can barely hold a club, Chris, so I'm not sure I'm really the man to comment on golf. It's very impressive.
Similarly.
I just get the putter out and whack it as hard as I can.
Off the tee, interesting.
Off the tee, ask my dad every year. I don't bother with the club, I just get it off, just use the putter off the tee.
Must be a challenge on a par 5. 1 minute and 22 seconds, says the stop clock in front of Ollie Lathrope. That's what's left of the first half, as another Sale scrum causes Saracens all sorts of difficulty. What we have seen in the few scrums tonight is that Sale are utterly dominant in that set piece. So Saracens competitive at the line out, far less so at the scrum. Sale just walking that one forward. And Lamasateli, Wollstonecroft and Ibu and Okpe are really getting a tousing from Oosthuizen, Webber and Cooper Woolley there. And that's clearly an opportunity for Sale to continue to exploit in the second half. I'm sure both sides will empty their benches as that second half opens. Be an opportunity for Steve Diamond to have a good look at Gus Waugh and Tom Curtis, perhaps, as a pair of young halfbacks. Once he feels the game is secured, I'm sure he will use opportunity to give other players a run out. But he'll want to make sure that this is a polished performance, and his side have a really thorough workout tonight. I'm sure there'll be aspects of the first half that Diamond and his coaching staff will not feel totally happy with, even if his side have been uncompromising when getting in close proximity to the Saracens line, already scoring 3 tries, as a neat bit of back play sees Cliff looping Marlon Yard on the left wing. We're pretty much out of time in this first half. This will probably be the last play, but can Sale go into the half-time interval with more points on the board? They're halfway between the Saracens 22 and their 10-metre line. Jake Cooper-Woolley is in possession. Will Cliff gets rather bad quality ball, which he's having to scrap for on the floor, and Saracens recover that. Cooper-Woolley not able to give Cliff the quality he might want as he hit the floor there, and Saracens have a chance themselves just to burst out of defence for a moment. Isikwe leading the charge. Now Kapoku brings in the busy Alex Good at outside half. Now Duncan Taylor trying to forge his way up the middle. Will Saracens just kick the ball dead and get off for half-time, or will they try and turn this into something? Well, thus far, they're keen to keep this attack alive. Joel Kapoku, whose twin brother John is on the bench tonight, drives that up to halfway. But this time, when it goes back to Alex Good, he decides he's had enough. That was going to be too much to try and turn into a meaningful attack, and Saracens elect to call it a day there. So the players come off at the interval, and it's Sale Sharks in the clear ascendancy here at the break. A really fast start from the home side. Denny Solomona scoring in the corner after just 2 minutes. Will Cliff then taking advantage of an excellent run from Marlon Yard to take it to 12 points to nil after a quarter of an hour. And then Ben Curry with an audacious routine really from a short line out, giving Sale a 19 points to nil lead after as many minutes. Rob Duprea adding the extras, which gave Sale a 21 points to nil lead after the first quarter. The second quarter was scoreless, a little bit scrappy at times. Saracens, though, struggling to really put pressure on the Sale line. So, Ollie Lethrope, your half-time thoughts?
Well, I think Steve Lyman would have been delighted with the start, Chris. 19 points, as you said, in 19 minutes. 21-0 by the halfway stage of that first half. But since then, it's been a little bit scrappy. I don't think it's quite what we want to be seeing from Sale. There's been a few too many errors. And fair play to these young Saracens kids. They've kept going and they've actually caused some problems for the Sale defence. So I think it'll just be about tightening it up at half-time for Sale in the changing room, making sure they come out and use those processes again. That's what we want to see. We want to see set piece going well, and the tries will come. But, you know, an interesting first half. Saracens have just got a glimmer of hope, but already I think we can say Sale have got 1 foot in the Premiership Rugby Cup final.
Thank you very much, Ollie. We'll be back with commentary in around about 10 minutes' time. But half-time here in the Premiership Rugby Cup is Sale Sharks 21, Saracens 0. Let's go pitch side with Colin McKevitt.
Thanks very much, Chris. Appreciate that. Chris and Ollie are taking their break. You might be able to catch them there off for their nice hot cocoa and bovril in the press room. It's nice and warm in there. It's nice and warm out here. It's hot out here. 21-0. Nothing. Sale Sharks 21 and Saracens nothing. We've been checking out the socials. Just want to say a big hello to Elisa Carlson. Hello, Elisa. How you doing? Watching from the US. As the son-in-law plays for Sale, Bryn Evans, son-in-law Bryn Evans. Hello, Elisa. Thanks for joining us. If you need to tell him anything, just put it in the comments below. We'll have a word with him. I'd also like to hello to Tony Horrobin, listening from Sherwood Park in Canada. Brilliant. We're global, Tony. Thanks for getting in touch, Tony. And also, Scotsman Ewan Sterling has been in touch. Happy birthday to Max Percival, who is 16 today. Now, I so happen to know Ewan, and I know Max. He doesn't look 16, he looks about 106. He's massive. His dad's tiny. Hopefully we'll see Max or his dad a little bit later on, which will be hilarious. Listen, comments below. Again, you know, any questions, any comments. We want to know where in the world you are right now. Where are you enjoying this game? If you've got any comments to say, anything you think, should we actually be going, another 3 tries? Same 3 in, 3 out, would be great. Are we well on our way to this final? Have I jinxed it by saying that too early? I don't know. I think we're going to be fine. We're playing really well at the moment. We're going to take our usual little walk around the half-timers. So if you want to come with me, guys, we'll take a little walk over here and let's have a look and see who we can talk to. Let's talk to this gentleman here. Ian, if you can come over without killing yourself. I know you're mid-pie at the moment. Sorry, I know you're mid-pie. I do apologise. What you got there, steak?
Steak, because there's no chicken balti left.
No chicken balti left. Give us your Heston Blumenthal now. Give us your analysis of that pie.
Of the pie?
And by pie, I mean that first half, because it was tasty.
It was. I can see now, being down here on the side, why that ball's maybe blown around a little bit and why people were scared of it when it was coming down. But it's great to see it being thrown around a bit. And it's nice. We've been down there 3 times and scored 3 times. I reckon we're going to double that scoreline in the second half as well.
I just said that before. We'll get 3 more again in the second half. Listen, I'm not going to let you get away with it. Come on. All right, so listen, you got the Balti pies were out as well, yes? You got the same. Listen, whereabouts are you from?
Sale.
Sale as well? I know, I want to ask you a mid-pie.
Not a local accent, but yeah, I live in Sale now. I've done for years. So.
How often do you get to the games?
Not that often, to be fair, but my little boys played for Sale Rugby Club, and I'm hoping to bring them along here a little bit more over the coming years. So
now you've got the taste of it.
Yeah,
So
I've got the taste,
just the taste of that pie, the taste of that beer, and the taste of quality
you're
rugby.
good at this. You've done this before,
Well, thank
haven't
you very much. And if I'm hiring, if anybody's hiring, no, I'm rubbish at this. Don't worry. Listen, obviously you follow Sale Sharks and that as well, and we deserve this. Yes, no.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it takes a while for a team to click, doesn't it, really? And that's the whole point. It took a while. We had a few kind of losses early on, Bristol, things like that. But now, 3 tries before half-time in a semi-final, home semi-final. We've got to be. I'm waiting for him actually to take a bite so I can ask him a question. He knows, doesn't he? He knows it's coming.
It feels like it's all clicking into shape, doesn't it? Last few months of the season, this is getting to the business end. Well in the Premiership, well in the Cup. It'll be interesting to see how it all pans out over the next couple of months.
Absolutely. You agree?
For the younger lads as well. I've noticed Tom Curtis is on the bench as well. My lads play at Stockport Rugby Club, so it'll be interesting to see if he gets on later on as well and watch him playing as well.
So a great Stockport asset to Stockport time. It's great. Listen, thank you. Sorry I've let your pies go cold. I know, I've let the pies go cold. I'm going to get into trouble. Thank you very much, gents. Appreciate it. And that's the whole point. Stockport, great rugby club, great local rugby club, and we take talent from those local clubs, which is awesome. And we're actually going to try and just walk past here just a little bit. Sorry, it's a little loud. We'll just get past these guys quickly. Let's have a quick chat to these guys. How you doing? Are you all right? How's it going? Where are you from? Whereabouts are you from?
From Ilmston.
Ilmston, you're very around the corner. It's not taking you far to get in.
Not at all, no, 5 minutes.
So listen, do you come to Sale Sharks a lot, or is this your first time?
This is second time.
Second time coming here.
And listen, are you enjoying it?
We are, yeah. He plays for Trafford Metrovics.
Trafford MV. That's a cracking team, Trafford MV, local team. We love it. Listen, if those that didn't quite make it down to watch the game today, why should they be coming to Sale Sharks games?
It's a fantastic atmosphere, and it's local. It's what could you ask for? Do you know, on a cold winter's night? Fantastic.
A warm winter's night.
Warm winter's night, my mistake.
We do it better up north, don't we?
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Listen, thank you very much. Appreciate it, sir. Thank you very much. Great stuff. Listen, we're going to quickly cut to a quick VT. We've got a little surprise coming up as well. We've got a bit of a Kiss Cam Valentine's special. We're going to try and find some people to kiss or do the kissing. Let's see you right after these messages.
Our game is about protection for businesses and communities, helping the people who guide and nurture, who inspire and support, who commit and deliver, helping to protect all those in our community who are just like us and who deserve the best. This is the Gallagher way.
Audience that we talked about as well, which is great. It's funny, I found some of the mentions on Twitter are saying any one of those 15 players could play for fly half for Sale Sharks. If Eddie Jones, you're listening, every single one of our Sale Sharks players will play fly half for you, Eddie. They could also play number 8 if they want. So there, keep an eye on the screens as well. We've got Kiss Cam today. Keep your eye on the big screen. There we go. No, they don't want us. They don't. Yay! Chris, come on. Oh, there we go. Oh! It's us! It's us! Oh!
Give yourself a massive round of applause. This cam is going to be back at the next home game. Make sure you watch it.
Thanks, Al. So let's go down, chat to a couple of fans. Let's go have a look and see who we can chat to. Let's go over here. Let's go over. How you doing? How's it going? You all right? Just come and say hello. How are you doing? How are you? Shake your hand. How you doing? That's great. How you doing? It's all right. We don't need to kiss. Kiss cam's over now. You're safe.
No, it's all right. Okay, good.
Listen, what do you think of that first half?
Very good, wasn't it? They played really well, really well.
I mean, it's great. Where are you from?
Urmston.
Urmston. Where are you? Urmston, obviously.
Urmston, yeah.
Oh, that's coming together. Listen, how often do you try and get to Sale Sharks games?
We don't come very much, actually. Actually, first time we've come.
It's your first time?
It is, yes.
Awesome,
We're
right.
absolutely having a fantastic time.
Brilliant.
Yeah, brilliant.
Will you come again?
Yes.
Yeah, we will, yeah.
Have you spotted anybody you like the favourite of, any players you're interested in? You don't have to answer that if you don't want to.
I don't really watch rugby, so I don't really.
So we've got the opportunity to convert you guys into this then,
We watched the rugby a little at the World Cup, and we really enjoyed it. So I think we'll come more, to be fair. Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. You got a crazy idiot like me running up and saying hello as well.
Don't worry about it.
It's the last thing you need at your first time over here. We're not always this mad, do you know what I mean? We're winning, it's a good score, do you know what I mean? And hopefully we'll get a good score at the end as well.
Yeah, I think so.
So listen, obviously, thank you very much. We appreciate it. And coming and supporting such a great club. So hopefully we'll see you again soon, all right? I'll keep my eye out for you guys now as well. Yeah, thank you so much. Good on you. Good on you. And that's it. First timers, they're loving it. Thank you. Brilliant. And the beer is brilliant as well, obviously. And the pies are great as well. Just saying, they're brilliant as well. Good. Right, where am I going? Let's go over here. Let's have a look at these guys over here. Okay, let's try and scoot round this microphone because it's a difficult one. Oh, I'm with Chris, am I? Right. Oh, and Ian as well. How are we doing? Okay, let's have a look. See if we can find somebody. How are we doing? All right. How are we doing? How's it going? How are you lads doing? Are you okay? How's it going? You all right? Good. Listen, ignore them. They follow me everywhere. It's crazy. Who do you support?
Sale.
Sale, definitely. Yeah, I can see it. Same. Whereabouts are you from?
Sale.
Listen, what do you think so far in the first half?
Pretty convincing stuff, pretty dominant. Just the win, see what the win's going to do in the second half, if it's going to impact. But
These are the wins that we want so much as well. Home semi-final, final on the way. Come on, you know. How often do you get to the games?
Once every 2 years.
All right, we need to get you coming back more often. Do you know what I mean? You as well. Right, we'll keep our eye out for you next time. But thank you so much for coming down. Appreciate it. Good on you.
You made the difference in the first half. Can you?
Okay. Oh, they're coming out now. So listen, let me just get past this big, huge speaker. So I'm going to head you back over to Ollie and Chris in commentary. We'll see you at the end of the game.
Side here at the AJ Bell Stadium. Sharks are on their way out onto the field now as we approach this second half. Sale currently leading by 21 points to after a first half of inconsistencies. The first 20 minutes was excellent from the Sharks, played some really good rugby, but that second 20 minutes it was a bit scrappy and things didn't quite get going, but there's 40 minutes to go here. Sale Sharks 40 minutes away from a place in the Premiership Rugby Cup Final as the fans start to filter back into the AJ Bell Stadium after their half-time pies and pints. It'll be Saracens to kick off this second half, going from right to left. Alex Good with ball in hand. He had an excellent first half, did the former England international, and he kicks off high into the Salford sky inside the Sale 22. Taken well by Sam James as Sale set the ruck up just inside their own 22. Will Cliff setting up for the box kick, and there's the kick from Cliff. He's looking for the touchline but hasn't quite made it, and Saracens can run the ball back, but the Sale defensive line is good. Saracens with possession just shy of the Sale 10 metre line. They use the forwards to start with. Here's Whiteley at the ruck. He gives it to Good. At the back to Taylor. He looks to make something happen, but he's tackled wide by Ben Curry. But Taylor does manage to just about get over the gain line. There's a fizzing pass that comes out from Whiteley to this left-hand side. And it looks as if it could have been spilled, but it isn't, and Saracens retain possession. Here's Sean Reffel. Saracens keep the ball. Andy Christie driving it forward. Saracens just past the Sale 10 metre line. As they recycle the ball again, it's Cliff with the high hanging kick, but it doesn't really go anywhere, and Hammersley looks to take it, and he does, but will come back for the penalty. The Sale defensive line was up a bit quickly there, and it will be a Saracens penalty just in front of the Sale 10 metre line.
Well, positive intent, Ollie, at the start of this second half from Saracens, keen to come out and put a better show on perhaps than in the first half. Saracens struggling to get a foothold. We're up against it really, having conceded that early try, but coming out with at least some desire to try and get the next score. You feel if Sale score again early in this half, it could be a long 40 minutes for Saracens, but if they were able to score a try early on and perhaps convert it, they're back within 2 scores and the game becomes a little bit more competitive again. So key moment early in this half with Saracens having this attacking line out inside the Sale 22. Now the last time they had one of these, Tom Wollstonecroft couldn't find a red hand. Let's see if he can now.
As Chris said, the last line out at this position wasn't good from Saracens, but this is much better. Wollstonecroft finds his man and Saracens look to drive forward. It's at the back of the moor here with Wollstonecroft. Saracens approaching the Sale 5 metre line. They're going forward by a little bit, but not in any great length, and the ball comes out as Whiteley gives a low pass to Taylor, who does well to collect that, but he retains possession, and Saracens keep the ball inside the Sale 22. Here's Whiteley again, driven up by Christie. Saracens keep the ball, using the forwards for the moment. Andy Glued changing direction here, and the ball comes out to the left. He looks to give the pass, but is intercepted by Rohan Janssen van Rensburg, and Sale defend their line well there and turn the ball over. Janssen van Rensburg reading that pass from Andy Good, who was probably trying to force it then when he didn't really need to, and Sale get the ball back. A good defensive set there, and Will Cliff will have the opportunity to clear as he does, looking for the touchline. It's a good kick from Cliff because Good goes back and he touches the ball, and that will be a Sale line out, I think. Alex Good, sorry, looking to make the catch, but he spilled it into touch, and that's another excellent kick there from Will Cliff, Chris.
Easy mistake to make, Ollie. Andy Good was a 10 as well, of course. Went to my university, actually, in my hall of residence. There you are, so that's going back a few years. Premiership veteran, of course. But yeah, that was frustrating from a Saracens point of view. Again, they'd got into Sale Sharks 22, couldn't do anything to really put pressure on the Sale line, and once more Sale able to relieve that pressure and get themselves upfield again.
A good throw there from Rob Webber as Sale look to use the backs. That's John-Luc Dupree driving up. Looks to offload, and he does, and it's Cliff. A nice little outside pass to Rob Dupree. Simon Hammersley coming into the line there and driving forward, but not able to get forward in any great length, and Sale have to use the forwards there. That's Rob Webber with an inside ball to Jake Cooper-Woolley. He drives forward. Sale just inside the Saracens' half. Kearney Oosthuizen here this time with ball in hand. Sale not really going anywhere at the moment, but they are keeping possession. There's Cliff to Dan Dupree. What a signing he's been. He gets over the gain line. Duncan Taylor not able to stop him. Here comes Sale again. John O'Ross with the explosive carry, as he always seems to do. Sale building ahead of steam now. Will Cliff keeps the ball, gives it out to Rob Dupree. Out the back to Van Rensburg. He beats his first man, but he's tackled well, but Sale keep the ball. Ben Curry picks up off the back of the ruck, and keeps the ball. Sale continuing to move forward. Here's Cliff again. Oosthuizen. Sell approaching the Saracens 22 in the centre of the field. Gone through a few phases here. Here's Cliff to Rob de Prier. Simon Hammersley looks to step Taylor, but Taylor does well to tackle him. But Sale keep the ball. As Dan de Prier breaks up off of the ruck and gives it to Cliff. A good offload from him, and Cliff gives the offload himself to Rob Webber. Sale approaching the Saracens 22, but Will Cliff was isolated and penalised on the floor, and it's just a case there of the support runners not getting up alongside Cliff in any great detail, in any great numbers, and Saracens turn the ball over as we see Alex Lazowski warming up down in front of us, another quality operator in this Saracens team. Will we see him come onto the field? I believe we will, as Alex Good clears into touch, and it will be a Saracens line out just inside the Sale half.
Well, it's Don Morris coming off, who's had a bit of a torrid evening, really, at inside centre. He got clocked early on by a thumping tackle from Cooney Oosthuizen, and he's also taken a couple of hits from Rohan Janssen van Rensburg. And I think this is the kind of night where a young centre like Morris kind of realises the gap, you know, what you've got to do to develop physically and to develop technically to be able to take the crunch of top-class rugby. He's had a tough evening. He's learnt from it, I'm sure, and he'll no doubt be stronger. He's still developing as a player, but Lazowski no doubt would have strengthened this Saracen side had he started the fixture. Saracens, we know, have used this competition to always blood young players, wanted to continue with those principles, but they will now have a better midfield with Lazowski there outside Alex Good.
Unfortunately for Saracens, that penalty coming to nothing. Tom Wollstonecroft's throw quite clearly not straight, and it will be a Sale scrum just inside their own half. It's chance of Sale go up around the AJ Bell Stadium. A good crowd in here tonight supporting the Sale Sharks. As it's dropped on this side, it looks like Jake Cooper-Woolley is the man who's won the penalty. Saracens replacement prop Sam Breen, the one penalised. Been a bit of a torrid evening for Saracens in the scrum as Sam James gets the opportunity to pin Saracens deep into their own half.
Well, we had the opportunity tonight on Sharks Live, Ollie, to have Lou Diaga and Faf de Klerk join us pre-match, and at the moment, every time there's a scrum, it reminds me of the World Cup final. One team just utterly dominant over the other, and you just wait for the penalty to be given, and Sale have absolutely got that ascendancy in that area, and Crean now on for Lamositelli. Well, change of name, change of number, same outcome. So Sale really dominant in that particular aspect of the game, and now with an opportunity on the Saracens 22.
And the line out is a good one from Rob Webber. It's collected well by Jean-Luc de Prier, but it's turned over. Saracens again forcing a turnover with Sale in their half. They've done that well tonight, and the pass comes from Whiteley to Good behind his head. He does well to take it and kick downfield. It's a decent kick from Alex Good, but it's straight into the centre of the pitch, and Simon Hammersley can run it back. He gives it to Solomona, but he's tackled well there by Matt Gallagher. Sale with possession, Johnny Ross. Short pass to Sam James. Sale keep the ball. Cliff down the short side. He was looking for Ben Curry, and it's a penalty to Sale. I think it was Ali Crossdale there, penalised for a deliberate knock-on. Sale looking to use the short side. Will Cliff was there with Ben Curry, but Crossdale quite clearly sticking out his right arm, and a penalty to Sale on the halfway line.
Mark Wilson getting stripped on the bench. This will be the first time that the Sale fans have had the opportunity to see the England number 8 on loan, of course, this season at Sale from Newcastle Falcons as they try and get themselves back in the Premiership. And Wilson's going to get his opportunity soon, so we'll see who he's going to be introduced for.
That touch finder there from Sam James didn't find touch. Saracens pinned Sale back, and Will Cliff was forced to clear his lines, and that actually gives Saracens the attacking opportunity midway between the Sale 10-metre line and the 22. I think we saw before the season Steve Diamond mentioned wanting to improve the strength of his bench, and he's currently got Ross Harrison and Mark Wilson coming on, who I think in most sides in the Premiership would be nailed on starters. I know Wilson's just coming back from an injury, but this is the kind of strength and depth you want. You know, Mark Wilson, an international number 8. You know, some would argue he would probably be England's number 8 if he hadn't spent so long out injured since the World Cup. As the line out comes in from Saracens, and Taylor looks to drive up the middle, but he's tackled well by Ben Curry, and Saracens are forced to go backwards and play again. Here's Good. He looks to throw the interception. Dennis Solomona sticking his arm out with deliberate knock on. I think Solomona's probably a little bit lucky there. That's not
Very
more
lucky.
than a penalty. I think the referee has gone back for the initial penalty, which was offside, but I think perhaps in a more intense Premiership game, I think Solomona might have seen himself with 10 minutes in the sin bin.
Yeah, that was a little bit cynical. But going to be a penalty for Saracens. Alex Good can once more try and get some decent territory for his side and give them a third opportunity of an attacking line out to see if they can get off the mark this evening. 4 changes now for Sale. Van der Merwe, Wilson, John and Harrison. So a completely new front row. Oosthuizen, Webber and Cooper Woolley come off. And Ben Curry, not a man you often see not doing the full 80. He gets an opportunity of a bit of a breather, which will probably mean that Dan Dupree perhaps switches to open side to give Mark Wilson opportunity at number 8. So interesting to see how Wilson goes. Long time out with that injury, but he's got a full half an hour to show what he can do.
And it's Saracens with the line out, just shy of the Sale 5-metre line. Can they finally make one of these opportunities work? They don't. John O'Ross getting up in the air and making the steal. That's another missed opportunity in the Sale 22 for Saracens, and Dan Dupree comes away with the ball into contact. As Sale look to clear their lines. Wilcliffe back to Rob Dupree, looks for touch, and it's an excellent touch finder. Takes Sale outside of their own 22. Saracens still have the ball in a decent position, but it really has been the set piece which has killed Saracens tonight, Chris.
Well, the line-out for Saracens, Ollie, has been bizarre because when they haven't been in the Sale 22, they've been completely solid and haven't looked like losing a throw. Every time Tom Wollstonecroft has had the opportunity to throw in the Sales 22, the throw has been lost. So very frustrating, I'm sure, for the Saracens coaching team. Is it nerves or pressure? Just as I say that, he overthrows the line out in the middle of the pitch. So there you go.
The ball comes to Andy Christie off the back of that line out. He drives up for Saracens. They keep the ball. Here's replacement prop Breen. He gets a little bit over the gain line and Saracens recycle. Here's Good. He looks to chip through. It comes off Will Cliff and Saracens are forced to recover it. And they do. And they keep possession, but they haven't really gone anywhere here, Saracens. Here's Whiteley again. Good with a nice pass. A long looping pass from Lazowski. What a pass that is. It goes out to the right-hand side and it looks like that's Crossdale. Saracens keep the ball inside the Sale 22 now. Some quick hands there from Christie. As Hunter Hill drives in. Here comes Sarries again. A good tackle there from, I think that's Will Griff John, but Sarries come again and it's a quick tap from Tom Whiteley and they're up onto the Sale 5-metre line. Can Sarries finally get on the scoreboard? Here's Good, he goes right. And it looks a speculative pass from Christie. He really didn't need to do that there. It's gone forward. I'm surprised there wasn't a penalty there. Or Tom Whiteley perhaps ran into a Sale man. I thought there might have been another penalty, there wasn't. And Saracens fluffed their lines in the Sale 22 again, and that's been a case of their evening, Chris.
It has, but Lazowski, pretty much his first touch with a quality pass at pace, missing out 2 men straight to Ali Crossdale, who showed he's got a turn of pace on the right wing, and it's probably the nearest Saracens have come to scoring. It was certainly the most convincing piece of back play they've put together tonight. So straight away, just that little bit of difference with Lazowski's class coming off the bench, almost putting Saracens away. But as we've been saying, you know, they have had time in the Sale 22. They've had line-outs to put pressure on the Sale line. They've generally not taken those chances, and that's why they're still yet to get off the mark on the scoreboard. They have turned down some kickable penalties, of course, as they've pursued 7 points, but they remain unable to break through. So this is the first scrum since Sale changed their entire front row. So interesting to see if the pattern of Sale's dominance in the scrum continues here.
Well, I think we saw there, Chris, there's 2 quality operators for Sarries now in that midfield. You've got Good, you've got Lazowski. They know how to make those killer passes that can cut out defenders. We saw that from Lazowski there, and I think Sale have got to be on their toes a little bit, because you've got 2 players there that can change a game, they can make something happen.
Well, you've got effectively 2 fly halves, because Lazowski was a fly half through his youth rugby. He came to Saracens as a fly half. He's played a lot of rugby there, so he's another distributor for them in the back line. So you're going to get that little bit of quality, that bit of game management that they didn't have before.
As they pack down for the scrum inside Sale's 22. Another huge scrummage from Sale. They've gone forward again. It looks like the referee was going to give an advantage. He didn't. He has now. As Sale drive forward, it looks like there's a shirt that's come off there. Nice surprise for everyone in the crowd.
That's Rohan Janssen van Rensburg's, I think. Perhaps that should be auctioned.
I have never seen that before, Chris. The shirt coming off fully. I've seen a few bodies on the pitch in my time, but the full shirt coming off.
That is rare, isn't it? You'd have thought, just from a physics perspective, to actually get a rugby shirt off a player's back in a tackle without him making any attempt to help you do so, and in fact quite the opposite, was nigh on impossible. But there you go. Anyway, he's got it back on.
A few quiet admirers in the crowd there, Chris. Me being one of them, I think, as Sale clear their lines from the penalty.
Well, the famous phrase about the shirt off his back, there it was being brought to life by Rohan Janse van Rensburg. He's had a good game tonight. He hasn't yet had an opportunity to really add to his tally of tries this season. 5 times he's scored, but he has shown when he's been on the ball his pace and his power, and I think as we move towards the final quarter we might see more of him.
As the line-out's a good one from Akavandamoa on for Rob Webber. Bryn Evans, ever reliable in the line-out as it drives forward the Sale maul. As they approach the halfway line, Sale so good at this. How many tries has Akavandamoa scored off the back of mauls from line-outs? But there's a bit scrappy there from Sale. The ball does come out, and Rob Dupree is forced to recover the ball as Sam James looks to make a bit of a dart, but he's tackled well. But Sale keep possession. Marlon Yard acting as scrum half on the left-hand side of the pitch here at the AJ Bell. Just approaching the halfway line are the Sharks. Will Cliff back in at scrum half. It looks like he's setting up from a kick here. He's been excellent so far tonight with his kicks, has Will Cliff. And we'll see another one here. It's a good one. And I say it's a good one, it's gone straight into touch on the 4. It's fairly windy here at the AJ Bell, and that one swirled into the Princeland stand, and it's the Saris line out on the Sale 10-metre line.
Rotimi Sagan, the flying winger for Saracens, who's had some Premiership experience, he's going to come on the right wing in place of Ali Crossdale. So Saracens looking to empty their bench as well in this second half. Good prospect, Sagan, former Loughborough University chemistry graduate, who ran the 100 metres in 11 seconds in his teenage years. So he's certainly one, a bit like Gabriel Ibitoye at Harlequins, who's bursting on the scene and making a few people stand up and take notice. England perhaps not short in the wing department, but in a few years perhaps Sagan may be one to keep an eye on.
A better line out there from Saracens. Lazowski driving up off the back of it, and Saracens do manage to get some go forward ball. That's Wollstonecroft driving past the Sale 10-metre line. Saris come again, getting a little bit of momentum here with their carries. It's Good. He gives it to one of the forwards as Saris drive forward again, keeping possession well here. It's Good. It's Good. A quick defensive line there from Rohan Janse van Rensburg, pushing Saris back, and they've gone backwards there from that initial ruck, and Taylor's forced to take the ball at speed, but he's tackled well. Saris keep possession. Wollstonecroft at scrum half. As Saris come again, but they're really getting no joy of this Sale defensive line. They've pushed them back well, and it's been a real struggle for Saris all evening. As it comes out to this left-hand side, it's Lazowski who looks to get some go forward, but he's met ferociously by John O'Ross. Always seems to tackle well in every game he plays. Here comes Saris again. This time it's John-Luc Dupree doing the defensive work. But Saris do manage to get forward a little bit, and Whiteley gets relatively good ball, but it's a poor pass from Good, and it allows Sam James to come out the line, but he's come out quickly, and it's an opportunity here for Saris on the right-hand side. But again, it's a bit scrappy. The hands haven't been great, and Ross Harrison disrupting at the ruck, but Saris do keep the ball. It's Duncan Taylor out to Good. He tries to chip and chase. What can Good do? It's bounced nicely for Good, but Ross Harrison does some excellent work there. An excellent pick-up from him to stop Good from recollecting that ball. And Sale will get the ball back here. And Cliff has an opportunity to just keep this in the forwards. He gives to Will Griff-John, his first touch since coming on. Cliff there at the base of the ruck again. This time it's Akavandamoa. He beats the first man. He runs into Alex Good and beats another man. Sale keep the ball. Just happy to keep this in the forwards for now, knowing the scoreboard and the clock is on their side. And it looks like we'll be seeing another kick from Will Cliff, other than that last one that went out on the 4. He's been good from the boot tonight. And it's a high one again. Matt Gallagher underneath it. Can he take it? It's a good take from Gallagher. And Saris get the ball back. 19 minutes into this second half. Sale Sharks 21, Saracens 0. But it's slow ball from Saracens. Whiteley forced to just pluck that ball out the back of the ruck. And it's Reffel that carries it up for Saris. Here's Whiteley again. Good looking for another kick. Is a quite a high hanging kick from Good, and Yard's going to have to try and get under this, but in the end it's Hammersley who takes it well, but it's come loose, and through comes Saracens, and they're going to get a running try here. Hammersley tries to get after the ball carrier, but it's a try for Saracens from absolutely nothing. Rotimi Shagan with the try, and that came from absolutely nowhere. It was a high hanging kick from Alex Good, and Shagan chased it well. It was a poor offload there, I think, from Sam James, and Shagan picked the ball up, and from almost nowhere, Sarries have got one back. And we've talked about some of the inconsistencies from Sale in this game, Chris, and Sarries have an opening.
Well, you have to say, Ollie, on the balance of the first 20 minutes of this second half, Saracens are worth that try. Sale haven't been in the Saracens 22 at all in this second half. They've defended well when Saracens have attacked them, but Saracens have had the majority of possession, and as you say, that was a rather odd try because Simon Hammersley had claimed that high kick from Alex Good. He had it under control and then just effectively tried to release it, having caught it and find Marlon Yard. The ball went to floor, and on the bounce through came Rotimi Shagan, who's only just come on, sprinted clear under the posts and showed the Sale backline a clean pair of heels, and it was a comfortable conversion off the back of it. So 20 points to 7 now, and Saracens have something to cling on to, and important that Sale just up the intensity a little bit now and make sure the door is firmly closed on any thought Saracens might have a comeback and try and bring their class and experience to tell in this final quarter.
Rohan Janssen van Rensburg coming off the field, replaced by Luke James. It's actually Will Cliff that fumbled that ball, which allowed Shagan to get through for the try, as the kickoff is a slightly scrappy one from Rob Dupree, but causes enough problems in the Saracens ranks as Christie collects the ball and takes it outside his own 22. Slow ball from Whiteley, and it looks like he's going for a box kick here. The win now on Saracens' side. That goes a fair old distance, and Hammersley does well to take it. He's got Rob Dupree in support with him, and he looks to try and beat the first man, but he's met by Lazowski and Good, who drive him back well, and Sale push back into their own half, but the ball's come out again, and Dupree picks it up. He was the man who initially went into that ruck, and he stood up again and got a little bit of go forward. And it
was a great tap tackle, as you say, Ollie, an absolute try saver from Tom Whiteley.
And it's slowed down here from Sale. Cliff happy to use the forwards again, it seems. Here's Will Griffjohn, a pop pass to Jean-Luc Dupree. He boshes off the first man and keeps the ball back inside to Aka van der Moa. An offload from him to Dan Dupree. Sale just short of the Saracens line now. Is that ball out? It isn't. Alex Good looks to go for it, and it looks like he's going to pay. The ball wasn't out, and Alex Good is penalised and sent for 10 minutes in the sin bin. Feels a tad unfortunate for Good, who's had such a good game, but he can really have no complaints there, I don't think. We're just waiting to see a replay of that as Sale came forward. Was that ball out? The Sale man on the floor looked like he was trying to offload that, and perhaps Good was a tad unlucky, but I think once you're penalised in your own 22, you are going to end up being sin binned.
Well, Good showing his initial frustration to referee Smales about that decision, but then once he'd given his initial reaction, took his punishment, and off he came. But that was better from Sale, Ollie, starting to put some phases together, threatening the Saracens line for the first time. And Saracens having got a try back, and Tom Whiteley having added the extras for them, know that they can't afford to concede again. They've got to keep trying to chipping away at this Sale lead. Another Sale try now you'd think might break Saracens' hearts, having given themselves that glimmer of hope with the Shagan try out of nothing really. But with Good now off the park, big opportunity for Sale to exploit.
It was, of course, Bryn Evans who started all that. And I want to mention Bryn Evans to you, Chris. At the start of the season, I think we might have expected perhaps Lou De Jager and Josh Beaumont to be the second row pairing for Sale, but their injuries has allowed Bryn Evans to keep his place in the side. And I've got to say, I think he's probably done his best season in a few years. He's such a classy operator, and he's the man at the line-out every time that Sale go to.
Absolutely. I mean, he's always been a terrific line-out presence for Sale. He's been their target man for several seasons, really, in the line-out. And as you say, with Beaumont and De Jager injured, James Phillips has spent a lot of the season on the bench, and Bryn Evans has been involved pretty much in every matchday squad, I think. I can't remember too often when I've written out the Sale team at the start of a game that I haven't put Bryn Evans' name against number 4. So he's been an unsung hero for sure, and I think his experience will be really important as the second half of the season opens up.
As from that penalty, Sale go for the scrum and win another penalty. John O'Ross choosing to go for the kill here with Sale's scrum so strong. Looking for the pushover maybe with Saracens down to 14 men, and they'll go for another scrum here.
Yeah, this will be difficult for Saracens to defend because they're not going to want to take anyone out the scrum to try and reinforce the back line because they've been hammered in the scrum all night. So they're not going to pack down with 7, which inevitably is going to give Sale an overlap when the backs take their places. Now, if Sale really hold the ball in the tight and try and push Saracens back, Saracens will be tempted to add an extra man to the back of the scrum to try and shore it potentially, and that will just give even more space. So a real opportunity for Sale to turn the screw here. Wilcliffe knows he's got boundless options, and it's just a decision really on how quickly he whips it out of Mark Wilson's feet or lets the Sale pack try and shove Saracens over.
As the Sale forwards come again, going forward. Comes off the back of the scrum. Sale just short of the Saracens line. Ross Harrison looking to pick and drive. He's tackled well. Sale happy to keep it in the forwards for now. One try here would surely kill off this game. Luke James comes out to this left-hand side. Wilcliffe used to use him, doesn't choose to for now, and it's kept in the forwards. The people in the stand behind the try line really getting behind Sale here as they continue to lose the forwards with the pick and drive. Nothing yet about going to the backs, and they are not needed. And look who it is again, Akker van der Merwe. A try machine this year for Sale, his 10th of the season, and for a hooker is unbelievable statistics. He's always around that try line, ready to score. And you know, when did you see a hooker be so near the top of the try scoring charts for a team? He's top of the Sale try scoring charts. He's quite near the top as well of the Gallagher Premiership try scoring charts, and he scores again tonight for Sale Sharks, and that is surely the try that puts Sale in the Premiership Rugby Cup final.
I think it does, Ollie. I think it does. Saracens had a little bit of hope, but just for a few minutes. And Van der Merwe, he must have been devastated if you were a Saracens player to see him jogging on around about the 50-minute mark, because, as you say, he has been a try machine for Sale this season, often from close range, not always, sometimes popping up in the midfield to sprint through, but he is particularly devastating from that sort of proximity, and with the conversion going over from Rob Dupree, 28-7 looks a comfortable cushion as we move into the last quarter of an hour.
As Bryn Evans leaves the field for Sale, replaced by James Phillips. Under 15 minutes to go here at the AJ Bell. Sale 15 minutes away from a home Premiership Cup final. As is a good kick-off that from Lazowski, but it's taken well by Denny Solomona. Taylor tries to hold him up, but Sale keep possession just short of the Saracen of the halfway line. So it comes out to Van der Merwe, back out to Rob Dupree. He gives it to Sam James. A looping pass from him out to Marlon Yard. He's got a bit of space out there. He tries to take on Crossdale, which he does, but Crossdale does well to cover Yard there and gets him to the floor. Here comes Sale again. John O'Ross, he's been everywhere again tonight, as he always seems to be. Here's Cliff. Rob Dupree out to Luke James. Can he beat the first man? He does. He steps in well. And here comes Luke James again. A great offload on the inside to Dan Dupree. He boshes off Taylor. Here comes Sale again. But it's come out the back of the ruck, and Cliff tries to give a speculative pass. He does, and Rob Dupree gives a pass over the top, and it's John-Luc Dupree out on the left-hand side, and he gives to Yard. Is he going to run in and score? It looks like he... No, he hasn't. The touch judge on that far side has his flag up. It looked for certain that Marlon Yard would score Sale's 5th try, but some good cover defence there from Saracens. The songs are going up around the AJ Bell, but that's a tad premature. As we get a replay on our screen now, Marlon Yard going for the corner. That looks like an excellent cover tackle, I think. Did he get the ball down? I think
that's
okay.
Look at that. I think that's all right. My initial reaction was he'd been tackled into touch, and it's his left foot. It's Yard's left foot that's gone into touch before he got the ball done. I think if it wasn't for that, he might have been okay in terms of his upper body. But I think that left foot might deny him this. But good move, excellent pass from Sam James. That's what he's so good at. He's a really good distributor at 13, Sam James. And I think you could see there that Sale, having scored that try, perhaps felt we've done this now, we can relax a bit. let's try and take advantage of Saracens' heads going down and being a man down. But it looks like that attempt from Marlon Yard is still being chewed over by the TMO. No try has been confirmed, so it'll be a line out with a Saracens throw.
Couple of changes here for Saracens. John Poku coming on for his first of the season, brother of Joel, and Alex Day coming on as well at scrum half for Tom Whiteley. And it's a Saris line out deep inside their own territory. A real struggle from here for them to get anything from this game. And they'll need to be better with their set piece as they look to try and clear their lines. At the moment, we've stopped. I think Tom Whiteley's still on the pitch, walking off now.
This is the first throw in as well for Pifoletti, the replacement hooker for Saracens, having just come on the United States international. So baptism of fire for him to try and find a Saracens jumper when he's only 5 yards from his own try line.
And that line out eventually comes, but it's overthrown. And can Saris keep the ball? They just about managed to hold on for it. Their line out woes continue. It's been a torrid night for them at the set piece, but they do keep the ball there. And for now, they'll keep it in the forwards, deep inside their own territory. Sal will just be looking to contain Saris here. No need for anything too silly in defence, as Alex Day will look to clear his lines with the box kick. And he does. That wind affecting it again. It's Marlon Yard under it. Can he take a clean catch? He can. He does it well. And he breaks through the first tackle. And here comes Yard, running towards the try line. He's still going, Marlon Yard. Held up just short by Duncan Taylor. Sal need quick ball here. Cliff tries to get it. Out the back to Rob Dupree. He gives a long looping pass. Luke James wetting out there on the right-hand side. Can he get in? That's surely a high tackle. Luke James looked for sure like he was going to score. A high arm came in there from one of the Saracens defenders, and there's some handbags down there now. Denny Solomona in there.
It was Alex
There's a
Day,
hand round the neck of Denny Solomona as well.
With the tackle. Day with the tackle, as you say, Ollie. It's all breaking out a little bit on the touchline there. Denny Solomona took exception at Alex Day's tackle. Luke James taken very high by Day, a yard or so from the line, and that's what led to the emotional reaction. It's still taking some calming down for referee Smales, but a great burst from Marlon Yard again. I think of everything tonight, Ollie, Yard's return to form is perhaps the thing that stood out for me. He's really shown confidence and speed.
Absolutely. I think when you're coming back from a long-term injury, Chris, it can be hard to get back up to speed straight away, but Marlon Yard has done very well there as we just see this high tackle again. I think it's certainly a penalty, maybe a yellow card, and maybe even a penalty try. Perhaps he wasn't guaranteed to score, so perhaps a penalty try would be a bit far.
Well, if we think back to the World Cup and the types of tackles that saw red cards, Alex Day's tackle there is not a million miles away, Ollie. You know, it's a scrag round the neckline, it's pulling James down, it was dangerous. Now, the referee's going to have a look at this. If Alex Day is sent off, then I think he's probably been on the park for less than 2 minutes, because he'd come on at scrum half, he'd taken up his place in readiness for that line out, which was ultimately overthrown by Pifoletti, the replacement hooker. And then as the ball has been turned into a Sale attack through Marlon Yard's burst, he's come across to cover and support on the left wing, and his left arm is wrapped around the collar of Luke James as he hurled him into touch. Shouts of off around the AJ Bell. I think it's at least a yellow. If it's a yellow, then Saracens are down to 13 until Alex Good returns, but it could be red.
It's certainly a yellow, Chris, as you said. He has come with the arm, which helps him a little bit, but it's very wayward. It's round the neck. Luke James has dipped a little bit, but perhaps not enough for mitigating circumstances to come in. And there's a nervous wait here for Alex Day.
And a big moment for referee Hamish Smales, who normally referees in the Championship, has spent some time in the Premiership, done a few matches in the middle, but more often than not has been a touch judge, but gets his opportunity tonight with a big high-profile semi-final like this. Big decision for him to make here.
Well, the Premiership Rugby Cup's about giving referees exposure as well, not just the players, and a great night for him tonight as he chats to the two captains. And Alex Day, a yellow card for Alex Day. I think that's probably just about fair enough for me. It could have been given a red, but I think there's enough there for it to be down to a yellow, and perhaps the authorities can have a look at it if they think it should be more.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I think it probably is right. I mean, you know, if you take someone out with a short arm tackle, clothesline round the neck, then that's a red for sure. But again, Hamish Smales has to make a decision, and a yellow it is. So Saracens down to 13.
As Van der Merwe throws in at the line out, Sale will surely score again here, but some good defence there from Sarries to get them all to the floor, and Sale are forced to recycle, and it's turned over. Disappointing moment there for Sale, up against 13 men. They really would have wanted to drive home the advantage, but they fell at that line out when Sarries have the chance here to clear their lines. A bit scrappy down in their own 22. John O'Ross making himself a nuisance, as he often seems to do.
That will frustrate Steve Diamond and his coaching staff, Ollie. You know, you've got a two-man advantage. You're in possession. You're 5 yards from the line, and you cough up possession like that. That will not please him.
They're the moments as well, Chris, I think, against the better sides in these big Premiership games to come. The Premiership Cup Final against Harlequins, where you'll see a very strong Harlequins side out. Those are the kind of things you're going to need to get right, get away with it tonight. But
yeah, I mean, I think clearly this is a team who haven't played for 2 weeks, Ollie, and that may have a part in this. You know, they had a great win at Exeter, but they had a week off last week. And so sometimes, you know, that little bit of extra rust, you know, there's only so much you can do on a training ground. You haven't had the regular rhythm of a match the previous Saturday, as Gus Waugh and Tom Curtis come on, and Will Cliff and Rob Dupree can give each other a well-deserved pat on the back from half-back tonight. They've been excellent. So back to the era there, Ollie. I think there might be a little bit of rust, but you know, it's just the sort of thing that Sale have got to iron out if they're going to be serious contenders for the top four.
And a free kick here for Sale as John O'Ross drives over his man in a first touch for Gus Waugh. He gives it to Mark Wilson. He's tackled at the line well, and quick ball here from Waugh out to Luke James. He runs into Lazowski, who makes the tackle. A new half-back combination on the field for Sale. Here's Waugh. James Phillips gets his first touch. Sale up on the Saracens' 22-metre line, looking for another try. Van der Merwe gives the inside ball to John-Luke Dupree. It was clearly forward, and it'll be a scrum to Saracens. And it's good to see a couple of the younger Sale players now on the field. We saw Curtis and Waugh in the Prem Cup earlier in the season. I think Gus Waugh actually started the first game against Northampton.
He did, opening match of the season, that's right. Did really well.
And Tom Curtis scored 7 points in this fixture in the group stages, so another chance for them to impress tonight.
Yeah, I mean, Tom Curtis could yet become quite an important player. We saw AJ McGinty at half-time, didn't we, as we were getting our half-time hot drink, and his arm was in a sling. He's clearly going to be some weeks away from featuring again. And having a good backup number 10 is really important. Rob Dupree has been lucky with injuries so far this season, but if he picks up a knock at Saracens away next week, then suddenly Tom Curtis is the go-to number 10. And the chances are he's going to be on the bench, I would have thought, for the period in which McGinty is injured. Sam James, of course, can play there as well, but he's better in the centres. So important for Curtis to get a bit of match time tonight.
As here comes Saracens, a free kick to them off that scrum, and they take it quickly, and they're up into the Sale half. But they've knocked on again, and I think Mark McCall watching this will be encouraged a little bit. There's a lot of these younger players will be the players that maybe take them out of the Championship next season. The middle players might leave the club whilst the internationals have almost a year off, as we're hearing. And these younger players are going to be better for an experience like this, I think, you know. And I don't think they've disgraced themselves at all, Chris.
No, I mean, I think there'll be frustrations from a Saracen point of view of the ease with which Sale cut through them in the first half, and that initial burst of tries really sort of set the dynamic for the game, didn't it? Three tries in 20 minutes. You know, it takes some coming back from that when you're away from home, you know, whatever the context of the game. So when you've got a young side against an experienced side who are in form at home, you know, you're giving yourself perhaps a 2% chance of winning the game from there. But since then, you're right, they've competed well. The scrum's got a bit better as the game's gone on. They have had some territory. And yeah, the whole mindset at Saracens as to, you know, the next phase of their club and who's going to be part of it and how they're going to go about things post all that's happened over the last few weeks, you know, is going to be clearly top of mind at the moment. And some of these players for sure will feature for them next year in the Championship.
As Sale have the penalty there, another period of scrappy play. Penalty just inside their own half. Gus Waugh getting his hands on the ball there. He's been lively since he's come on. 7.5 minutes to go. We're here on Sharks Live. Just a reminder, we're here for every Gallagher Premiership home game, and we will be here for the Premiership Rugby Cup Final, Sunday, March 15th. Harlequins are the visitors to the AJ Bell. What an occasion that proves to be. It's the day after the Six Nations finale, so a great weekend of rugby to look forward to. And we'll finish it off all here at the AJ Bell Stadium for the Premiership Cup Final.
I think it'll be a full house, Ollie, because it's probably 80% a full house tonight, I would say, something like that. Bit of space on the terrace away to our left-hand side as we look out from the main stand, but otherwise very full. And Harlequins will bring a few on a Sunday. I think they will bring a few. Both sides desperate for silverware, both sides with coaches who want to show that their teams are moving up a gear, moving on in terms of their role in the context of top flight club rugby in England, and a big opportunity for both clubs to land some silverware and set themselves up for a good run in the Gallagher Premiership. So it should be a great occasion and a real opportunity, as you say, for Sale to show their home fans what they're about and to put a piece of silverware in the locker. It's been a long time, hasn't it, since Sale were able to do that. 2006, of course, Jason Robinson and all that, from days of winning the Premiership. So 14 years on. Hopefully it might be a special day come March the 15th. But overall, this has been a decent performance, Ollie, hasn't it? 6 minutes to play. Not perfect, but those 3 early tries really broke the Saracens' resistance, and Sale, as the clock runs down now, can enjoy the last few minutes and start turning their minds to the final and to going back to Saracens in the league next week.
Just a mention for Ollie Stonham on for his first ever senior appearance for Saracens, so well done to him for getting out on the field tonight as Saracens have possession on their own 10-metre line, looking to try and do something with this here, but there really isn't much for them now as Alex Good's back on acting at scrum half. Lazowski seems to have gone to fly half with 5.5 minutes to go here in this semi-final, and here comes Sarries looking to try and get something here. Here's Crossdale. He gets through John O'Ross and he's still going his Crossdale down to Gallagher. He looks for the kick, but it's straight into the hands of Simon Hamza, who calls for the mark, and Sale get possession back in. I'm sure it'll all be about slowing this down now. No real need here to do anything silly. Just get through to the end of the game with no injuries. Of course, an important period in the league coming up as well. Down to Saracens next week, followed by Leicester at home, which of course you can hear with us on Sharks Live. Then a trip up to Gloucester, and then back here at the AJ Bell against London Irish as that mark is kicked into touch, and Alex Good tries to go quickly, but to no avail, and we'll have a Saracens line out just beyond the Sale 10-metre line.
And if you're joining us on Facebook or Twitter or YouTube and you've got a view on Sale's performance and what their chances might be in the Premiership Rugby Cup final, quickly let them be known to us. Hashtag Sharks Live. We have got members of the team keeping an eye on your comments through social media, so please don't hesitate to just give us your quick thoughts on Sale's prospects, your reflections on tonight's game, or perhaps where you've been listening to the coverage. Always great to hear where people are. We know we've had listeners in the United States and Canada tonight, so please get in touch in the last 5 minutes.
And here comes Saracens again. Duncan Taylor doing well to get over the game line, and Good brings it back this other side, and Saracens keep the ball, but again they're struggling to get over the game line as Taylor's down over on that side. And here comes Shagan, the Saracens try scorer. Here's Good to Lazowski. Saracens still have the ball, but again they're struggling to get any kind of momentum, and they're met well by the Sale defensive line. Here's Shagan again, and Ross comes in with a tackle there. Was there arms there? I think he's just about all right, but a risky play there from the Sale captain, and Saracens look to try and get something going, but it's Akamanda Murwa who makes the tackle there. Here's Lazowski out the back to Taylor. It's been a tough night for Duncan Taylor. He's had a lot of ball, but he hasn't managed to quite do anything with it as Sale disrupted the ruck again. 3.5 minutes to go. Saracens still going for this here. Here's Shagan. He's been positive since he's come on. He's broke a couple of tackles and he breaks one more there, but he's finally brought to ground. Saracens keeping the ball, and some nice work there, and good hands from Lazowski out to Gallagher, who seems to come onto this left wing, and Saracens now up towards the Sale 22. Here's Alex Good. Gives it to Breen. Saracens keep the ball again. It's Good to Kapoku. The two brothers driving in there. A nice moment for them. Here's Alex Good again. It comes out to Lazowski. He beats Solomona. He's going down this left-hand wing. He boshes over Simon Hammersley, but he's finally brought to floor. Can Saracens get a late try here? Disrupted well there by Will Griff-John, I think, but Saracens do get the penalty back just inside the Sale 22, and a nice moment there from Alex Lazowski.
Oh, what a lovely moment that was. That was almost the champagne moment of the game, I would say, just to see Lazowski's footwork there on the left wing, just showing the quality that he has to almost create another try for his side. That was really silky from Lazowski, and Saracens finishing strongly here. 2.5 minutes to go. Just trying to knock on the Sale door again, see if there's an opportunity to get themselves a few more points.
Just a few more shout outs. Lucy Gordon-Smith says she's loving the commentary. Thank you very much. We do enjoy doing it.
We've got Guy Wills, who's been watching from Auckland in New Zealand. Great to have you with us all the way out there, Guy. And Tinky Eddie says, hi from Zimbabwe. Hello, Tinky. Thanks for joining us on Sharks Live. Really great that we are wrapping around the world and reaching so many of you listening a long way from Manchester tonight. So thank you so much for being with us.
And a chance here for Saracens. Can they have the last laugh? They finally get a line out going in the Sale 22. And even a few of the backs come in. Lazowski joining the back of that maul. And they're starting to drive forward. Alex Good in there as well. Can Sarries get one more try on the scoreboard? But Sale are doing well to hold it up at the moment. It does go to floor. And it's out the back of a man who's gone into contact for Sarries. We can't see who that is on this left-hand side. Deep inside Sale territory. Slow ball for Sarries. Happy to keep it in the forwards for now. The Sale defensive line strong so far. They won't want to concede another try. Sarries using the forwards. Sale get quickly up out the line there and push Sarries back. 1.5 minutes to go. Sarries keep the ball. It's very slow ball though, and it's quite easy for Sale at the moment to defend their line. Will they look to use the backs? Good marshalling his troops, pulling forwards up off the floor. Sarries continuing to move infield, close to the post. Perhaps they'll look to attack those posts with the ruling as it is. But for the moment, they're still short of the Sale line. More forwards in there. Ali Crossdale is circling behind that pack. Will we see something from him? But for now, it's still in the forwards. Steve Diamond will want to keep this score to 7, and it's a high carry, and Sale push back. That's John O'Ross who does well there, and Sarries are pushed back further away from the Sale line on the 5-metre line now. It's still with the forwards. Tough work for the Sarries forwards now. They've worked hard all night. Can they eventually get some kind of reward? There's Wainwright. He stopped short. Sale holding firm.
Good defence from Sale, Ollie. They'll want to make sure that they keep Saracens out. They won't want to have the bittersweet full time of conceding a try but celebrating a win.
Sarries continue with the ball in hand. This will be the last play now as the clock goes to 0, but there's still one more chance in this for Sarries. Sale Sharks heading to the final, but can Sarries get another try on the board? It's still with the forwards. Matt Gallagher on this left-hand side calling for the ball. Alex Good looks like he might try and get this out to the back three. He's marshalling a few people around, but no, it stays in the forwards. This must be tough work for both teams here as we're at the last play. And it's a penalty to Sale. All that hard work from Sarries, and it's finally over for Sale Sharks. They're going to win this one. All they've got to do is punt this ball into touch. Of course, you have to tap it first before you do that, and Sam James does so, and he boots it high into the Salford night sky. Well, not quite high, it only just went out in the end, but that's all over here at the AJ Bell. Sale Sharks 28, Saracens 7. Sale are heading for the Premiership Rugby Cup Final on March 15 against Harlequins.
Job done, Ollie. Sale Sharks managed to see off Saracens. It was that early onslaught that really was the difference between the two sides. Credit to Saracens' young players, as we mentioned. They were competitive, perhaps more competitive than it appeared they might be after 20 minutes. But Sale were always in control of this one. A very solid performance, at times a little bit scrappy, probably not perfect. Things to work on, perhaps a little bit rusty, having had no game last week. But at the end of it, Sale are now in the Premiership Rugby Cup Final. They won all their group games in this competition. They've now won their semi-final. And Harlequins await here at the AJ Bell on Sunday, March the 15th. They are 80 minutes away from their first silverware for 14 years. A massive well done to Steve Diamond and all the squad.
Absolutely, Chris. It's going to be a great occasion on March the 15th here at the AJ Bell Stadium. A final here for these Sale Sharks fans. Remember, if you're a season ticket holder, season member, you can get tickets for free to that game. So they'll be down here. Make sure you're down here as well for what should be a great occasion. And Chris, a chance to win some silverware. And this is the start of a new team. A lot of signings are coming in. And to get some silverware on the board early in the season would be great for the club.
Well, clearly there's been significant investment here at Sale from Jed Mason and Simon Orange, and there's been a change in emphasis from the types of players Sale have wanted to recruit and been able to afford. These players clearly early in the season were a little inconsistent, but as the more they've played together, the more the team have gelled. And inevitably with any team in sport, when you evolve them really quickly and bring in lots of new players, then it's always going to take a little bit of time for that team to come together. But Sale are now coming together and they're taking their place in the Premiership Rugby Cup Final. Silverware is within their grasp, and let's hope they can take it, opportunity that comes to them on Sunday, March 15th.
It's going to be a great occasion, Chris. I'm sure it will be that. A great opportunity for Sale to win some silverware. Colin down on pitch side, shaking hands with Marlon Yard. What a great game he had tonight. A lot of smiling faces around the AJ Bell, as you would expect. And we're ready here to go pitch side to Colin, I think, who's got Marlon Yard alongside him. It's finished here. Sale Sharks 28, Saracens 7.
28-7, happy days. Marlon Yard's here with me. How you feeling, mate? Good result for us?
Yeah, it was a bit of an open game, wasn't it? We probably made it a bit looser than we probably should have had it. Obviously, it's an exciting game to be out there. We got the job done in the end. That's what we wanted to do. But I think looking at in hindsight, we probably gave away too many unforced errors, and that was probably letting their try in there. Probably should have just kept hold of the ball. But all in all, I thought we wanted a strong start in that first half, and I thought we put the game to bed in that first half.
Absolutely. I mean, 0-0 first half, mate. You've got to be happy with that, though. You've got to take some positives, and so close there, mate. So close. What are you going to do? You step a little bit to your right, a little bit?
You just surprised me, to be honest. I didn't actually see him coming. I thought I was in, but
fantastic break through the middle of the pitch as well. You're definitely after something, aren't you? You can feel it. You've been working hard to get back onto this pitch, mate.
It's always going to be tough. Obviously, I've been injured for a while. I'm sick of talking about it now. I just want to show it in the pitch. I do a lot of work away from here, and I kind of just, I'm all about trying to do. I don't really want to talk it up, to be honest. So I just want to go out and perform.
Well, we appreciate it, man. I think all these guys here and the girls that are coming down, it must feel great hearing them shouting, cheering you on. How important is it to get these fans with us?
No, it's absolutely massive. I think, as you can see, week in, week out, you're coming here, and look, if we're playing good rugby and we're winning games, the sport is going to keep coming. So we're in a great position now. We've got a final at home. Hopefully, it'll be a nice soul that game, and we're also back in the league next week. We're third now. We've got an opportunity to get ourselves into that top two. So, we'll enjoy tonight. But we've got a big game against that same side again, and it'll be a different game down at Lions Park.
Listen, mate, I'm not going to keep you. Let you get back in there. Much appreciated as always. Thank you very much. And there we go, folks. This team obviously hungry for so much more, so much time. 28-7. It's a great result to have. The lads have worked really hard for that. Home semi-final. Get your tickets. We need these tickets. There's going to be plenty of time. There's going to be a great atmosphere down here for this home final now against Quins. So I think that's coming up in the next 4 or 5 weeks. Make sure you keep your eyes posted. Next home game here is in 2 weeks' time, 21st against Leicester Tigers. Come on, man. We've got to take an opportunity, take advantage of that. Why don't we try and sneak in and chat to a few of the fans as well, see how they're getting on as well. So do you want to come away? Just watch out for that camera there. Let's see who we've got. Let's go. How are you doing? You all right? How's it going? Do you enjoy that?
It's very good, thank you.
Where are you from?
Northwich, we've come from.
Thank you for coming all the way from Northwich. Happy with that?
Happy with that.
Are you happy with that? Can you hear me? Can you hear what I'm saying? I need a pair of them. Did you enjoy that?
Yeah.
Who are you waiting to see? Are you waiting to see anybody? I think they're over there, look.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are. They're over there. Denny, you're waiting for Denny to come down. I'll have a word. Thank you very much for coming. I really appreciate it. Much appreciated. How are we doing? Hey, how are we doing? How we doing? How's it going? Are you okay? How are you doing? Do you enjoy that?
Brilliant, thank you. Yes, but really good match to watch. Nice to see them win so convincingly.
Fantastic. Happy with that?
I thought there might be more tries in the second half, so a bit of a shame, but it's good results anyway.
Stop being greedy, you. All right, do you know what I mean? Right, yes, they must.
Looking forward to the final.
Yeah, we all are. I mean, home final. Come on, that's got to feel good. I remember going down to Warriors for a semi. I think it was at home. It was a horrible feeling not being able to have it at your own place. Must feel great to have it at home.
Yeah. The thing is, I went Sale Quins when whatever this used to be called again at Worcester. It was how many years ago?
LV Cup. It was.
LV.
I was there. It was horrible.
Yeah.
But now here, home advantage. It's got to be a good feeling, yeah.
We got to win that.
Oh, just going to win it.
Crowd sang well.
Oh, yeah, we all that big vocals is what it's all about. Listen, much appreciated. Good to see you again, guys. Well, thank you very much. How you doing? All right? How you enjoy that?
Oh, it was brilliant, wasn't it?
Fantastic, wasn't it? Did you enjoy that?
Yep, definitely.
Who are you waiting to see?
Basically just anyone who passes by.
That's exactly what anybody will do. Do you know what I mean? I'll sign it, but I'm not good enough. I'm not fit and healthy enough. Let's have a little look to chat down here. How we doing, everybody? How's it going? Cliffy's there. Well done, Cliffy. You enjoy that?
Awesome, mate. Awesome.
Hello. Oh, it's brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
Especially Will Cliff, he was awesome.
Will Cliff's always awesome.
Because I'm here, doesn't he?
Oh, yes, he's just well done, Cliffy, by the way. Good job, mate. Well done. Let's sneak behind Denny here quickly. How we doing? How you doing? You all right? Do you enjoy that?
Yeah.
Do you enjoy it?
Yeah, good game, wasn't it?
Whereabouts have you come from?
Stockport.
Over Stockport, brilliant. Thank you for supporting us. Are you going to come for the final?
Definitely, mate, yeah.
Definitely. Home final, happy days, yeah?
Yeah, can't miss it, can you?
You going to come to the final?
Definitely.
You're going to have to drive him to the final, yeah?
Yeah.
Good lad, well done. Thank you very much. Sorry, buddy. Well done, Tom. Well done, mate. Good stuff. Let's just squeeze past John over here. How did you enjoy that?
Yeah, it's great.
You want to see more of it? More wins like that, yes?
Absolutely, we need that. Yeah, that was fantastic.
I'm not going to say anything to him. All right, good job, well done, mate. Well done. Thank you very much. See you in the final, yeah? Good, got it. Do you enjoy that?
Yeah, definitely.
You going to come to the final?
Yeah.
Good on you. He's coming to the final, sorry. Good on you. Well done, thank you. Do you enjoy that? You going to come to the final?
Yeah.
Good. You are coming to the final. Where have you come from?
Denton, Manchester.
Thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Well done. Cheers. I much appreciate it. Who else we got here? How are we doing? You okay?
Yeah.
Where have you come from?
Cheshire.
Cheshire. Brilliant. Do you enjoy it?
Yeah, it's good.
You enjoy it?
Yeah.
You going to come to the final?
Yeah.
Brilliant. I'll see you at the final. Thank you very much. Good. Right, we'll leave them be. That's it. A great result for us. 28-7. Sale Sharks Live. Keep the conversation going wherever those comments are on your screen right now. Please populate that. We want to hear what you thought of the game today. Tell us what you thought about the commentary too. And make sure you tune in 2 weeks' time because we're going to play Leicester Tigers and we're going to beat them too. Thank you for joining us at Sale Sharks Live.